Well, hi everybody! Welcome to Nature Check's Arda Campaign, the show where you come for the game and stay for the science. We'd like to remind you that Black lives matter, LGBTQ plus lives matter, and the people who are represented by these statements matter all the time. Not just when their causes are in the media spotlight for a week, not just when it happens to be Black History Month or Pride Month. Advocacy and allyship are things that you should be doing all the time, not just when it's trendy. We'd also like to remind you that for the entire month of June, all Nature Check streams will be supporting the Bale Project through a campaign on Tiltify. You can find the link to our campaign in the panels below, on our Twitter, or in the video or podcast description. We appreciate your support of this deserving charity to help bring justice for Black lives in our communities. Excuse me. As a bonus, when you donate $5 to the Bale Project through our campaign, you can choose to grant advantage to a player in either of our RPG streams, and a $10 donation can similarly be used to grant advantage to the Game Master, or disadvantage in Burn. If you choose to use your donation to grant one of these advantages, please mention it in the text panel so we can keep track. As an extra special motivation, we have a secret benefactor who will be matching donations up to the first $1,000 raised, so please help us support the Bale Project. Thank you so much to the anonymous donor who gave $50 to the Bale Project last week. You are our hero. Okay, now we'll do introductions. Hi, my name is Sheryl, and my pronouns are she, her, and I'm the Dungeon Master for the Arda Campaign. I'm a PhD student studying ecology at the University of Illinois at Chicago, and when I'm not doing my research, I'm a science communicator and the host of the Roving Naturalist on YouTube. Next, we've got Ryan.
Hello, I'm Ryan, he, him, his. I am an entomologist in Pittsburgh. I work in a botanical garden where I do integrated pest management, plant pathology, and plant health care. And in our campaign, I play Fletcher, who is a human wizard.
Then we've got Cindy.
Hi, Cindy, she, her. I'm a science enthusiast, and I also play an engineer on the Weirdlings channel. Here is a awesome constellation is the Star Trek series we do over there, which you can catch on both Twitch and YouTube. We're not currently running, but you can catch our whole first season on YouTube. And here, doing something very different, I'm playing Nautia, water mephit druid.
Yeah. Then we've got Nancy.
Hi everybody, my name is Nancy. I am an entomologist, which means that I study bugs, and I live in Ecuador. I use she, her pronouns, and I play a rogue who is human-ish.
Every week, everybody's just like, ish?
Ish.
Then we've got Joe.
Hi, I am Joe Ballinger. I am our resident barbarian. I play Lucanus, and I am a PhD student at the University of Wyoming trying to figure out why weeds hurt crops.
And then we've got Peter.
My name is Peter Coffey. I am an entomologist who working at the University of Maryland, teaching people about agricultural science, agricultural pests, agricultural regulation. In my spare time, I take pictures of bugs and plants, and I use he, him pronouns. And my character is Cedric, the dwarf cleric.
There was a little bit of a glitch in the Matrix there. Are you okay?
Yeah. Right, no worky's good.
Your thinky part doesn't work?
Yeah, thinky part.
Yeah.
Rusty. Knock off the cobwebs.
And our special guest is back with us again tonight. That's Brian.
Hi, I'm Brian Lovett. I'm a postdoctoral researcher at West Virginia University, Division of Plant and Soil Sciences. I'm a mycologist, I'm a genetic engineer, I'm a vector biologist, an entomologist. I have lots of ologies. And I'm visiting as a circle leader by Conid, Gary. My pronouns are he, him, and Gary's pronouns are they, them.
Marvelous. If you're watching us live right now, thanks for being here. As always, if you have any questions for the cast, make sure to put them down in the chat so we can respond. Hey, did you know we're on social media? You can find the Twitter handles for our entire cast of video gamers and TTRPG players down in the reference section below. Don't forget, if you're not able to watch us live, you can, as always, find the sessions for both of our consistent RPG campaigns in video form on our YouTube channel and in podcast form everywhere. Today, we'd like to say vielen Dank to our listeners in Germany who have downloaded our podcast almost 20 times since we started publishing it a year ago. Does anybody else have any projects they'd like to plug this evening?
I started on my YouTube. My YouTube now exists again. It is youtube.com/scibugs to learn about bugs, as the name might imply. Full of sarcasm. Couldn't tell.
Yep. Ask an Entomologist is active. We're doing a really awesome 3-part series on the discovery of Rocky Mountain spotted fever. And then I literally just found out today about big miracle back in the 1800s involving a flock of seagulls that I want to write about. So we're going to have some really cool stuff coming up. And then
does that story involve music?
It will. But I really want to tag the band on Twitter. And I really want to tag the band on Twitter. That will happen.
Yes.
I don't know how they'll respond, but I am going to. Yeah. Anyways, and then hopefully there is going to be something really cool coming up within the next month and a half that I'm going to leave hanging.
Ooh, teasers. Teasers. Anybody else have anything they'd like to tease?
I'd say anybody interested in learning pollinator gardening, entomology, any of those kinds of things, look up our education courses at Phipps Conservatory and Botanical Gardens. We put everything virtual this year because of coronavirus, and I'm running a 3-month summer-long campaign called the Summer of Pollinators. It's now consists of all these virtual things since we can't really do anything in person anymore, but we're still running all these classes. I'm teaching a whole bunch. And since everything is virtual, anybody anywhere can sign up and take any of our classes. So check those out and sign up if you're interested in anything.
Awesome. All right. Anything else? Okay, then let's get started. Everything changed when the gods left Lacedes. The world became a complicated place. For almost a century, people fought with one another and struggled to find new ways of being. The loss of the gods also made the continent of Arda newly accessible to the outside races, and humans from Tenebria established New Seychester as an outpost city on Arda's southern shore. In the spring of 972, 4 young people from different lands encountered one another in New Seychester. Though their alliance was first formed out of necessity, curiosity, and coin, they have now come to trust and rely upon one another as they explore a strange new world. Fletcher, a human wizard, collects samples and takes copious notes about everything they encounter in Arda, as he hopes to publish on his discoveries and make a name for himself. Cedric, a dwarven cleric, came to Arda to share the word of Moradin, but in the meantime, he's met a lot of new and diverse people and learned to rely on his friends when the going gets tough. Lucanus, an elven barbarian, seems either to be running from or towards something, but he hasn't let his dark past prevent him from working with and protecting his newfound companions. Kay, a roguish young woman, is new to the violence and adventure of the broader world, but her desire to make a difference and do the right thing to help the people she cares about pushes her forward. And Nautia, a mephit from the elemental plane of water, was trapped on Arda while partying when the loss happened. Now that the river she relies upon has become poisoned, she's teamed up with this unlikely group of adventurers to save her home. This morning, you woke up to a strange sight. Your peaceful grassland campsite was surrounded by quite a few red and white mushrooms, some as large as yourselves, and some even larger. One of these fungi revealed itself to be a sentient creature, a myconid called Gary, and they communicated with you via blue spores emitted from under their cap. After some struggles learning to understand one another, Gary shared with you that their circle's farm had been raided and the precious food fungus stolen by unknown criminals. You tracked the thieves back across the grassland, and the trail led you to a familiar sick kapok tree. As you were reinvestigating the tree, you spotted a figure that appeared somewhat like a humanoid insect. Following this creature into its subterranean burrow proved to be a risky choice, as you were set upon by a large group of these insectoids, some of whom appear to be stronger than others. Your group is engaged in heated combat with the insectoids, and 2 of your party members lie unconscious on the ground, bleeding out. We're back at the top of the combat round, and the insectoids go first. And Fletcher's just like, no!
No!
Oh my
Why?
goodness. No. Well, thanks the book snail, and hi Chris for stopping in. We are just about to restart combat.
If someone donates enough money to do all the bugs just like poof away, because that would be convenient.
Maybe. We'll have to see. Are you planning on donating that much money, Nancy?
I don't know, it needs to be.
$50 to spray DDT down this tunnel.
Right? Okay, let's see what we got.
Although
Everything.
since we're dealing with you social insects, Pimpernel would probably be the better choice. Although that is slow, but it is a little bit more complete.
Yeah, I don't think we have time to wait for you social interactions to pass the chemical through the colony.
You know what? That's absolutely true. So either DDT or some synthetic
Says
fire.
Fletcher,
I
who's
need
actually
to shut the
dying.
hell up about insecticides.
Oh no.
Yeah. I hope one of us rolls a 7.
Really, they just want me to not decide what these creatures are gonna do. Okay, so
Is it working?
nope.
Damn.
So let's see what we've got here. This guy is gonna move here. So he's like sharing the space with Fletcher's dead body for right now, I guess. Well,
I hope he trips.
dying
Unconscious.
body. Unconscious body. I'm
I
sorry.
hope he trips and snaps his neck.
There's a difference.
Woo! Okay. And is going to attack Lucanus. So
Damn it.
that's orange and pink is attacking Lucanus. Whoops.
I
So,
don't have a writing utensil.
Nope.
Does
that
anybody
misses.
remember?
Does
Does anybody remember who I cast Bless on last time?
You cast
Me.
resistance on Lucanus.
All right,
Yeah.
but then I cast Bless in combat, which is how I actually took all that damage.
On-
Right.
On everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whole party.
Well, it can do 3 people, right? So I think
yeah,
it was...
it's 3 people, so it would be.
Oh, okay.
Wait. Oh no, it's all allies. Okay, no, you're
Oh,
right. It's
okay.
everyone. It's
Cool.
everyone. Yeah.
I
Okay.
think the same thought process happened last time too.
Yes. That sounds. Yes. It's like me, like still balancing 5th and 3-5 in my head.
Amazing.
Failing.
Okay, so the orange and pink one just missed Lucanus entirely with both of its attacks. That was garbage.
Yay!
Garbage. Okay, so then we've got... Gosh, what do we do here? What do we do here? The red and green one is going to attack Gary. So Gary,
Wow.
get ready with your armor
This
class there.
D20.
No, you don't have to. God, wow, I am rolling terrible, terrible numbers. I've gotten a 5, a 7, and a 2. These beautiful dice hate
Oh,
me
that's-
tonight.
We're all
Thank
so
you.
sad for you.
I know.
Yeah.
So sad.
Let me check. Gary, your armor class is higher than an 11.
I mean, I can start rolling on D
Yeah.
and dice again if you want to
Yeah.
see some good rolls.
All right, so I missed Gary with both attacks. The second one missed by 1. Yes. And
Oh,
now
AC. Got
we've
it.
got the purple one attacking Nautia. Okay, that's 14.
Ha! Miss.
Okay, 14, and this one is a 19.
That hits.
Okay, that hits. So that's the spear. No. This is the right die, right? I hope I'm rolling the right die. That's 5 points of spear damage. And then the green and pink one will also go at you. Nope, that's another 11. Wow, garbage. That was cocked on the other dice. And 18.
Yep.
Okay, that hits. Another spear for 3 points of damage.
Okay.
You sound so sad, Sheryl. Are you sure you're actually not trying to kill us?
Those were a bunch of really terrible rolls. I'm not trying to kill you.
You gotta make it to my turn is the thing.
I'm not trying to kill you. I'm just trying to make it a challenge.
Working.
Yeah. Lucanus, it is your turn. This guy is up in your biz.
I'm gonna fight the guy who is up in my biz. So, hit that D20. Oh, I got a 5.
A 5 total?
No, shit. I got a crap ton of bonuses.
Yeah, it's a 5 plus 8, so 13.
Yeah, 13.
Nope, that misses by 1. Sorry.
Crap.
He gets a +1 for bless.
Oh! If it meets, it hits. Roll damage.
All right.
Good job
Thanks,
keeping track
Peter.
of that.
Yeah, I was like trying to say it, but I didn't realize I was muted. I was like, no, he gets one for bless.
I got an 8.
You got an 8. You slice it in half, like vertically.
Just
So
dissolves.
just like one elytra in each half.
It dissolves in a bloody mess.
I'm gonna move it back over here just so it's not dead on top of Fletcher anymore. Please.
Yeah.
Can I?
All right.
Okay. Dead. All right. That was Lucanus. And now it's Kay's turn. Kay, you're in the back.
Oh boy.
You're not up in the front having fun.
I'm not up in the front having fun, but I'm also not sure if I want to. Well, I guess I'll just try and shoot an arrow in there because if I walk in there, I will definitely die.
Don't forget that Cedric and Fletcher are on the ground right now, so if you... Oh, no, wait, because they're all in combat with Nautia. Never mind. Sorry, I was going to say you had a clear shot. You kind of do, but it's still in combat.
Yeah.
You just won't shoot
I would go
Cedric
and save
again.
them, but I don't think I have any health. I definitely do not have any health potions on me. So the most I could do is like pat you on the head and say, "Good work, team."
Yeah.
Maybe that's all they need.
I also hold on. I'm trying to open up my dice. I have them, but I apparently knotted the thing shut. So, all right, perfect. All right. Dun, 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 dun. I got a 13.
You got a 13.
Unless I'm blessed.
You are blessed.
Oh,
Is
excellent.
that with the -2 to shooting into combat?
Oh no, that is not with -2 shooting into combat.
So that does miss. Sorry.
Well, I missed. I tried.
You tried.
I tried hard.
Uh-huh. So, wait, you got a 13 on the die, or that was a 13 with your dexterity?
That was a 13 with my... Hold on. I got a 12 on the die. Where is my... Yeah, so I got a 15.
So it would be
but
a
-2.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
13.
Wait, +1.
+1 less.
Oh.
14.
Okay, then damage. We are riding the line.
By the way, I just love how
Remember
Nancy and
all
I
your
just had the
numbers.
exact same issue.
Riding the line.
Yes, all right.
AC is
I'm
14.
going to roll damage.
Which one are you shooting at, by the way?
Oh, right. I don't know. I guess the one that's in front of me.
Well,
This red green one.
you're being blocked by Gary, but I mean, you could shoot at that one if you wanted. Yeah.
Really sorry.
Can Gary duck?
Gary could duck, or you could move sideways and shoot at the one that's in front of Cedric, or, you have lots of options. I just wasn't
I'm
sure.
pretty sure I barely
I'm
fit
not sure if
into the
Gary will
cage.
actually duck. I'll just move slightly sideways and shoot at... If I click, can you guys see it? No.
Mm-hmm.
This
Well,
blue
you're
orange
also
one.
kind of shooting between me and Gary.
That's okay.
You just gotta click and hold
Yeah.
to make it to appear.
You know what? That's why we barely hit it, okay?
So you're shooting the red and green one?
Yeah.
Okay, red and green. Damage.
Alright. Damage. Let me pull up my character sheet again. I roll with the short bow a 1d6. Woohoo. 2.
2. You stick an arrow into it and it reels back. It's like leaning against the wall. It's not dead, but it looks like it is on its way out. Gary.
Okay. So there are 2 actions that I've been thinking about. Can I like just see what other people think about them? Is that okay, or do I have to decide myself?
You mean like you want to confer with the group?
Yeah, because I'm not really sure what is like. Well, so let me ask you: if I were to pacify, is 1 minute long enough to like affect
Yes.
their turn?
Yes. So
Okay.
each round of combat is 6 seconds,
Okay.
so 1 minute would be
Oh, wow.
10
Okay.
rounds of combat. For
All
reference, this is the 5th round of combat.
Okay. All right. So
Those
then,
first 4 rounds of combat that we played last time took like an hour.
okay.
How long-
That's why my
how long
sense of
does
time
my-
is like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
long
no,
does
and
my
remember,
rage last?
Brian, all those things that we do, like we're doing them like in order, like we're taking turns, but it's like you're in combat. Everyone is doing all these things at the same time, and people are like clashing together and fighting. So that's why it's only like, that's why it's 6 seconds game time, but it could take however long it takes in real life to do like turn by turn.
Yeah.
For
Okay,
us to
that
like
makes
figure out what
perfect
we
sense.
actually want to do.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure if like by the time that I finished rolling that it would be over.
No.
Yeah, so
Okay.
so if it lasts a minute, that's 10 rounds of combat.
Yeah.
Like 10,
That's
everyone
forever.
going 10
Okay.
times.
When I read that, I
Yeah.
was like, oh, that's not that long.
And given the fact that I seem to be one-shotting a lot of these guys, you know, if I don't die, that's...
Knock on wood, Joe.
It's a-
Come on.
Hell of a lot of
Say that
Yeah,
out
combat.
these
loud.
could just be like workers, and then there could be like a soldier cast, and then
Oh,
like a
God.
queen
Just, like,
cast,
waiting around
and
the
then
corner.
like
Hell of a lot of
okay.
confidence.
So,
I mean, that's my
Cheryl's trying to
character.
kill us.
I'm not trying to kill you!
so white spores
Uh-huh.
waft from under Gary's chin toward, I think that it would go toward everyone, all of the...
Is that one a line or a ray or...
I have it up here. Let me see. It is a ray. So I have to choose a direction?
Yeah, you have to choose a straight line, basically.
Okay.
So, like, you could get the red and green one and the pink and green one, or, like, something like that. You have to choose a straight line.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to do that direction, straight ahead.
Okay, so they both have to make, what kind of save is it?
Fortitude.
Is that right? Fortitude?
Fortitude saving throw.
Cool. Okay, and your save was a 15, I remember. So let's see here. So many things to look up. Fortitude. First one first. That is a 14. Fail. Second one second. That is a 12. Fail.
Yes.
They
All
are
right.
both
We're just cooling
pacified.
things down. just for 10 turns. We can regroup.
Bless you.
They are both
You already
snailed.
did.
if only
Blessed-
that were like cordyceps and not just
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
mastication.
Yeah.
Oh,
Blessed
man.
be thy Cedric.
We decided it wasn't possible.
What, really? You debated this?
Well, he asked about adding a cordyceps-like ability to the character that he's playing, but since this is a monster straight out of the monster manual, there are other creatures that have cordyceps-like abilities, which we can definitely play with later. But adding that ability to this monster would have changed it really dramatically in a way that would have been very complicated. So,
Very dramatically.
right. But we can play with cordyceps fungi later.
I feel like that just means we're gonna have to do a lot of fortitude.
Somebody's gonna...
Yeah, one
you
of
know
us
what?
is gonna get
From
infected.
that comment, Cheryl, I feel like one of us is gonna end up on a very high place wafting spores.
Yeah. I actually don't. Yeah. So let's just say now we
You
don't want to
decide.
play with cordyceps later. We, all of us veto that.
Are you sure?
Well, you might want to explain what cordyceps fungus is and what it does
Yeah,
to those
please.
people.
Please do.
I feel like our mycologist should
Yeah.
Yes.
Our
Yeah, that should be
mycologist in
Brian.
house.
Brian should talk about that.
Yeah. So cordyceps. Actually, the one that that people think about are the zombie ants, which tend to be Ophiocordyceps, which is just a rename. Fungi, they change their names all the time. It is a fungus that is highly specialized to specific ants. So it can be so specialized that one cordyceps species will be specialized to one ant species. And when it lands on worker ants, because those are the ones that are outside of the nest and are the foragers, it will burrow into the ant and grow inside of the ant. And then once it's reached sort of a critical mass, it will send the ant climbing up a perch, up a very high perch. And depending on where this occurs, it'll either be gripping onto leaves or they'll grip onto twigs. So in the rainforests, they'll tend to grip onto leaves. In more temperate areas, they'll grip onto twigs. And then it will bite its mandibles down, essentially sort of gripping the insect to the leaf or the twig. And then the fungus will kill the ant. And then out of the ant's head will grow a fruiting body. And this fruiting body is just this long sort of tentacle which grows out. And then on that, the fungus produces spores, which will rain down onto the sisters below. So it's a way where it positions the insect, make sure that it can be transmitted to the next generation. So it's a really interesting behavioral manipulation. And because you have this very sick ant, which is doing this seemingly unnatural behavior at the end, and it's so sick that it's like they're walking slow and they'll stumble. They're called zombie ants, which is a really cool entomopathogenic fungus. And I actually just wrote a paper describing all of these different summit diseases, trying to put them together into a framework and make the case that what we're seeing is not the fungus pulling all of these levers, but is actually how those insects may sleep naturally. And it is just putting them in a perch where they would normally sleep and then killing them there.
So it's less zombie ants and more sleepwalking ants.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this paper, we called it Going Quietly into the Pathogen-Induced Good Night.
Oh.
Because it is essentially sending them to bed is the theory that we put out there. So we tried to make those connections. But insect sleep is one thing that we really don't know very much about. And what we do know about it, the behaviors are very, very similar to that sort of grotesque sounding zombie walk that I described, which is they have to anchor themselves, they don't respond to stimulus, and they tend to be in these elevated positions because that will keep them away from predators. And it may even help them avoid predators because if you're at the tip of grass and someone is climbing up, that grass will move a lot, waking you up. So it's an interesting part of biology where we just said, these might be related, and these are all the gaps that we need to fill in to draw that together.
Now,
so yeah.
Cool.
Now, how similar, and this is going to get really, really into the, I mean, if you'll pardon the puns based on my current field of study, this is going to get really into the weeds.
All right.
But how similar is the physiology of that to what liver flukes do to ants? Because, you know, like liver flukes, what they'll do is they'll cause ants to crawl up high on a blade of grass during the day, clamp down and not move so they get picked up by a grazing sheep or cow.
So we actually reference that example as another example that would fall under that same umbrella. So that's why we said pathogen-induced and not fungus-induced. We actually had a reviewer that was like, don't focus on fungi. This is much broader than fungi. We were like, we're sorry, we're mycologists.
Yeah, but I mean, how similar are the manipulations by the parasites?
That positioning and the manipulation is probably very similar. Even though we're talking about a fungus here and you're talking about a fluke, any summiting disease, we were sort of trying to group it into an umbrella framework. So there's another example of summit diseases in caterpillars, which is induced by a virus. And for that, they'll climb up to the tops of leaves in trees and they'll sort of melt there. For that one, instead of sleep, we propose that juvenile summit disease is driven by pupation, or at least molting, because the behaviors, again, are uncannily similar. So in the virus caterpillar interactions sort of description of this disease etiology, they have a wandering stage. And meanwhile, entomologists describe the stage before pupation as a wandering stage. So the parallels to molting, and also the sort of thread that links these two, the hypal thread, if you will, is the periods of quiescence in insect biology, because the same sort of dangers that you would want to avoid when you emerge from your exuvia and you have to tan your cuticle and you can't respond to stimulus are very similar to when you might sleep. But yeah, I think that there are underlying things, and there's even a field of study that's developing which is called molt sleep, because the biochemistry, the sort of hormones that are driving sleep and molting, insects are sort of repurposing this similar pathways. So if a fungus is sort of plugged into that pathway, then you could see how it could either manipulate a juvenile insect or an adult insect. But this is sort of the things that I'm describing are at the cusp of what people are doing in this field. So part of putting that idea out there is so that people can totally tear it down if we're wrong. So we tried to piece it together as best we could and said, this is how we think it will go, but who knows?
I mean, it makes sense from like the fungus point of view, right? It's like doing anything simply is easier than doing things that are complicated.
Yeah.
Right. So if all you have to do is turn on an already programmed behavior, that sounds much more easy and reasonable than being like, oh, the fungus being like left leg forward, right leg forward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the thing that has been really well established is it helps the pathogens transmit. So by being in that position, you'll infect more ants than if it just died somewhere on the ground. So instead of having to, like you said, move one leg and then the other and end up in that position, if these fungi just sort of stumbled on killing them when they were asleep, then they would naturally get those benefits. So it's an interesting connection that we tried to make, and trying to take all of these different fields, and as you pointed out, Joe, all of these different pathogens, and saying maybe we're looking at the same thing, and if we talked about it as if it were the same thing, we could make more connections.
Yeah, I mean, to build on Nancy's point, we see this a lot, in the thing that I'm talking about, or the thing that I'm doing. I've always told the plant pathologist here that I'm really taking a pathologist approach to the problem of weed competition, and he thought that I was a little bit crazy, and now I'm showing exactly what you were. Well, if what I think is happening is actually happening, and I think the morphological data demonstrates that what I think is happening, although again, nothing's done until the genes are in, blah blah blah. But it seems like what we're looking at is also a repurposing of various pathways and crosstalk and all that, specifically like the switch from like juvenile to adulthood, or stuff like that. Like people have sort of suggested stuff like that for stress responses in plants. So,
well, many of you are entomologists, and you probably have a favorite insect, and you probably also cannot tell me where it sleeps.
I mean,
which is a weird thing, right? That we just don't know those things.
All of my favorite insects sleep inside other insects.
Well, that's one way to become a favorite insect.
Yeah, I like butterflies. They sleep under leaves. And I had a professor who was like, have you actually ever seen that? And then I was like, I guess I haven't ever looked for it. And then one day I actually looked for it, and then we have these butterflies that are called red peacock butterflies, and I took a picture of literally 10 of them under the same leaf.
Yes. Well, and so that's the thing, is that they'll also sleep close together. So some of the few studies that are looking at this, not only will they sleep together, but some insects will return to the same spot to sleep. And a lot of these summiting diseases, like if you don't have mandibles, then you can't bite your mandibles down. So grasshoppers that summit, they'll clasp onto grass, and that's how you'll find them. And it's like, this is a much more obvious way for this insect to be positioned when it sleeps. So you look at all these different places and you're like, are these summiting positions actually the places where these insects are sleeping? And we just have evidence of it because they're dead.
Now I need you to do a research study where you like tag a whole bunch of grasshoppers or ants or something and watch them sleep and then infect them and see if they go back to the same place.
Exactly. Yeah. If somebody will pay me to do it, I would love to.
So, can I just ask one more kind of really nerdy involved question?
I want to find out if I die or not, Joe.
But I wanna keep you alive, Cedric. So the longer I prolong
you're like a Schrodinger Cedric right now. You're neither dead nor alive.
But no, Brian. And this is a question we might have to explain. I don't know, but do the anamorphs of cordyceps do all of that stuff? And if not, why?
You mean, do they cause summiting?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of literature on that. There was a recent paper looking at the transcriptome, the gene expression of Ophiocordyceps, and they found some genes that they thought were driving this, and then they had an aside, and they were like, this Metarhizium species, which is an anamorphic insect pathogen.
Can you explain that in more detail for the viewers and also me who don't know that word?
I thought you were going to say, can you explain that with words?
Different words.
So when the ant dies and that fruiting body grows out of the head, that's sort of growing away from the insect. So we call that a teleomorph because it's growing away. And that's the name for the fruiting body to mycologists. And then anamorph means that it does not produce those fruiting bodies and it produces spores as sort of like a mold or a mildew. So the anamorphic insect pathogens, they aren't producing these fruiting bodies. They'll just sporulate on the outside of the insect. But in that study, they found these genes that were implicated, and they're like, oh, by the way, in this anamorphic fungus, these genes are present. So I think there might be some hints of that happening, but it's not something that's been very well studied. Or looked at, and most of them probably do not.
Yeah, that's always been interesting to me because I know like some Bovarius species and some Metarhizium species are just sort of the asexual forms of cordyceps, and the fact that they act so differently is fascinating to me.
It is really interesting.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like I'm pulling this out of my memory that not all cordyceps cause what you're calling summiting disease, which I love and is a new favorite phrase. Because I feel like I remember something about a cordyceps that infects caterpillars in Southeast Asia, and that people dig up the caterpillars with the cordyceps in them, and they're like a component of Chinese medicine. Is that's a thing I'm remembering correctly?
That is totally true. And okay, so that's another one which was called cordyceps, and we've renamed Ophiocordyceps. So it's called Ophiocordyceps sinensis, which just means China Ophiocordyceps. And that one is a long-standing part of traditional Chinese medicine. Another name for it is Himalayan Viagra because of where it comes from and some of the effects that it's supposed to have. I actually had a paper bounced back by spam from a journal because we used that name, and they were like, oh, if you have Viagra in the document, then it won't make it through. So I had to like replace it. Be like, go find Viagra or go find this word and then replace it with Viagra, and then it's good. But for that fungus, it was so valuable for its traditional Chinese medicine use that it was worth more than its weight in gold. So people would go out and collect all of these caterpillars to the point that the caterpillars, it's a ghost moth, and the fungus are approaching extinction and really hard to find because of how valuable it was. And you can't culture these in the lab very easily, particularly to produce all the different compounds that are contributing to the purported effects. So you have to get the natural thing. So there's been a lot of political and social issues with that specific Ophiocordyceps. But we make the point in our article that even though they are underground, these caterpillars are summiting to the top of the soil in order to pupate out into the soil and produce the fruiting body there. and it's linked to the molting of the caterpillar. So it seems like a weird summit, but even under our feet, it may be still doing the same things.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have done studies on this, and the biggest meta-analysis that I know of, which was a Cochrane review done in like 2005, actually showed that the only thing that it doesn't work for any purpose except for some kidney diseases, and that even then the effect size was like far smaller than like the treatments that are on the market right now.
Well, when you start looking at the specific metabolites that it's producing, they are bioactive. They do interesting things. So there are some that they're looking at which, if you isolate just that compound and produce it at scale, it'll have anti-cancer effects and anti-inflammatory effects. The famous one from that is called cordycepin, because that was the initial most famous cordyceps, and it may have been the first insect pathogenic fungus that was recognized as a fungus and not a sort of plant root. Initially.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks. Awesome aside. I like zombie fungi. Nautia,
I mean, who doesn't?
it's your turn.
It's your turn.
All right. First, very important question. Can I currently reach Cedric?
Yes.
Because I can't remember which one is him.
He's the one with the shield out in front.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Then,
like-
yeah, then I need to move in close enough to touch Cedric.
Mm-hmm.
And can I do that from the square I'm in, or do I need to...
You can touch him from the square you're in, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Then I put my hand on Cedric and I cast Cure Light Wounds.
Yes! Yes!
If she had picked anything that wasn't druid, you guys would have been screwed.
Yeah.
+2 bonus for that. +2 pun bonus.
Thank you.
No, don't give the
Alright.
DM any bonuses. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean,
All right.
the only thing that does is increase her ability to make, puns, which is, combat neutral.
All right. Cedric just got 6 hit points back.
Yay!
And that's my level 1 for the day gone.
Thank you.
Oh, no.
All right.
Well spent.
So, all right. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. Thank
that-
you.
Is that it, Nautia?
That's all I got. I can't move anywhere.
Mm.
I mean, I
Mm.
could, but
Okay. Then it is the FFA's turn. So that means it's the turn of pink and of blue-orange. If you're feeling like you want to be active in the chat right now, tell me whether or not I should be a real jerk. I'm gonna let pink go first and attack Nautia before we decide whether
Can I
or
be
not.
active in the chat and tell you not to be a jerk?
Basically, blue-orange could attack either Cedric or Nautia. So, you tell me, chat. But pink is gonna go first. Joe says, I vote no on jerk.
It don't matter because
I was active in the chat.
Well, that's not the Twitch chat.
I know. It's our own special game chat.
Okay, Nautia, pink is attacking you with a bite. That is a 22.
oh, yep.
Phew, max damage. That's a 9 slashing damage.
I'm quite down.
Oh!
That's -4.
Oh no!
Oh, wow.
There's a reason I healed the cleric first.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Gosh. I guess it's gonna stay there because it can't do anything else. Am I being a jerk or not? High-low it. Chris says high-low it. Chris writes for the DM's Guild. Chris writes for the DM's Guild. He knows what he's talking about.
Hi, Chris.
Cedric, high or low?
Hi.
Well, okay, so basically right now it's either gonna... well, no, because Nautia just went down, so now it has to attack you, doesn't it? Yeah. Or it could... Yeah, no, it has to attack you, because...
Could just do something else.
What
yeah,
else
maybe,
is
it's
doing?
changing its mind.
What
So
else?
these are the two that are not pacified?
Yeah.
Is that
Yep.
Is it
These are
two
the
or
two that
three?
are. There are 3 that are not pacified, but these
Oh.
2, it's their turn. The other ones already went. Okay. Well. Okay. High or low, Cedric?
Hi.
High. Okay. So if I roll high, it's gonna go attack Lucanus. If I roll low, it's gonna attack Cedric. That is an 11. Wow. It hit 4 for a moment, and then it just boop. So it's gonna go attack Lucanus, I guess.
I am always happy for a boop when it's not.
Standing on top of Fletcher's unconscious body again.
Yeah, this is a pile of us.
Alright, it moves.
Well, I mean, technically he's on Fletcher's body and at least one more of those guys' bodies.
Yeah, that's true, because it died in the same square.
So does that mean that it has like a
Gross.
disadvantage on the roll if it's standing
messy
over a pile
square.
of corpses?
No. Oh,
No.
man. That's a 12. That does not hit your armor class.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, why are they so bad at this? Okay, so that was the FFA's turn. Cedric, you're
Yay!
alive!
So, okay.
Yay!
So from my point of view, I run into combat. I immediately get stabbed twice, right? Collapse. Everything goes black. Tunnel vision. I wake up with like my mouth full of healing potion, like Fletcher leaning over me.
Yep.
Then get stabbed again.
Yep.
Fletcher collapses on top of me. Then I wake up again. Nautia like falling out of the air.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reach out and try and catch Nautia as she
Oh.
falls. Guys, because you're flying, right?
This
Like
is so
try and
sweet.
catch you.
Second time in 2 days. I love
Aw.
this. I love
I
this.
ship Cedric and Nautia.
I do too.
do,
These
Do I-
shorties gotta stick together.
do I need to make a check to catch her or something?
Reflex save.
They are short in stature, but not in love.
Aw.
Oh.
Not short on love.
Small bodies, big hearts.
Mm.
That's a 15.
Okay. You catch her
Catchable.
again.
All right.
So gallant.
All right. And I'm gonna cast.
It's more like cushioning her fall because you're still on the ground, so you just kind of like put your arms up and like.
Yeah. So I'm gonna return the favor. Cure light wounds. And that is gonna be 5. For 5.
All right.
And
Back up.
then can I stand up?
Yeah.
Is that okay? So I'm gonna like place Naughty on the ground next to Fletcher. And okay, so there's so many bodies
I
everywhere.
know.
So
Like
is
the bodies
Blue
of the
Orange
foot.
standing
Yeah,
on
we
top
really
of Fletcher?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm if I step here to just like between like, to basically get him between me and Lucanus, am I gonna take an attack?
No, that's fine.
Okay. I'm gonna do that.
Okay, cool. Fletcher, you don't have percentile dice, is that correct?
No, I can roll.
Okay. Yep. So if it's a 10 or lower, you stabilize.
14.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh man. 14%. That was so close. Alright, so you lose another hit point. Bummer. And we are back at the top of the round. Gosh. Okay. So, let's see here. Those two are pacified. So now we've just got purple. So I guess purple's gonna come up here and also wail on Lucanus for a minute. Because you've taken out so many of their guys. And also because I'm feeling generous. Alright, Lucanus. Spear coming at you for... Oh my god, another 2! Nope.
I mean, I'm not complaining.
I know, and it's your turn.
My turn?
Yep.
All right. So I am. Let's see. Trying to think. Yeah, I'm going to. The guy who is that guy's still right in front of me, right?
Blue orange. Yep.
Yeah. So I am going to hit him. That is not a nat 20, but 12 plus 8.
Yep. Dirty 20.
Plus 9.
Yeah, are we still
Plus
blessed?
Oh right,
Yeah, you're
'cause
still
you have
blessed.
Yep. Definitely hits. Roll some damage.
I got a 3.
A 3.
Or no. Hold on. No, that's not the right one because it's 2d6, and I rolled a 1d6.
Okay.
I got a 6.
Plus your 1.5 your strength, which is another 6, so 12 on blue orange.
For damage?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep. Wow. You take a mighty swing and cut you cut 2 of his legs off. So like one whole side, it's missing like the arm leg and then the sort of like middle leg. So now it's got the spear just in one hand, well, 2 hands on one side, I guess. But it is still barely hanging on.
So this is like the Black Knight in Monty Python.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
Okay.
I mean,
So
you can rip a pretty good number of legs off an insect before it stops doing its thing.
Oh yeah.
Read that cool video of the beetle that like didn't have
Exactly.
insides anymore. Like,
Yeah.
that was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Lucanus. I'm assuming you don't want to go anywhere.
I mean, no.
No. Okay. Kay.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna continue with my sideways dodging and also try and hit the blue orange.
Okay.
I take a -2 because it's in combat, I'm assuming.
Correct.
Alright. Well, I'm gonna pew pew anyway. I'm gonna move all of my notes out of the way and then try real hard to pew pew it.
I believe in you.
Let's do 15. -2 is 13. +1 bless 14. Yeah.
On blue orange,
Yes.
its AC is not 14.
Oh no!
We tried so hard.
Sorry. That misses. It would have hit the other ones.
Well,
For flavor, the arrow goes whizzing past Cedric again, and you're like really skittish now. Because you started out this combat getting hit by your friend before you got hit by any enemies.
Oh yeah,
And now
I
you've
totally
been-
forgot that you shot me in the back. Oh,
Cedric, are you going to hold that against me forever?
I mean, yeah.
It might have made
I've died twice now.
the difference between him dying the first time and not.
Yeah, I think I
It
went to
definitely
exactly
did.
0 hit points. Like I think I took 19 damage and I had 19 hit points. So like if I hadn't taken that little bit of damage beforehand, I would have still been up.
Bummer.
You know,
Okay.
not to guilt you or anything.
Right, yeah. Gary.
All right, Gary. Can Gary stand on people or in the same squares as people? I mean, we're standing on all kinds of corpses and cadavers.
Technically,
right?
you and Lucanus are already sharing your space because you are a large creature.
I am.
So, like, yeah, you can share a space with an ally like you and Lucanus are doing, but you can't
Okay.
really share spaces with enemies.
So
All
in
right.
my head canon, like I am kind of on top of Gary fighting, and
Oh, right, because you guys decided Gary was like long and low, right?
Yeah.
like if we're sharing the same space, I am literally riding Gary into battle. I just realized that.
You've got the high ground.
I need some fan art of that. Of Lucanus just on a shelf mushroom.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Could
Amazing.
make Gary not very happy about that too. That would be more appropriate. Okay, so since I'm in that space anyway, I want to do another pacification ray through that center with the blue and orange and the pink.
Okay.
And I think, would that also hit
It would also hit Cedric and
person?
Nautia. Yeah.
Okay. But okay. I
give
think
you
that's okay.
permission.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for that, and I don't have to do anything, right?
Okay.
You roll.
Yeah. So remember,
Okay.
if Cedric and Nautia fail, they become pacified for 1 minute, which means that they can only take half move actions. They can't do any casting or any combat.
All right. Okay.
Okay, I could just like sit down, take
You
a
sure?
little breather.
Okay.
Is that wait. Okay, hold on.
But they're both
can I-
small, so wouldn't
We
that?
can just
Well,
hang out
but-
right there in the middle of all of those other bug
Blades,
people.
blood everywhere. We're just both like.
So could I walk forward one and share a space with red green, or no? That's not
You
allowed.
can't share a space with
Okay.
an enemy. Yeah.
Mostly I'm interested in hitting blue orange, so can I do a diagonal ray?
Yeah, you could direct it in such a way that it
Yes.
only hits that one. Sure.
All right. I'm gonna direct it such that it goes through blue orange, but does not hit my, I think, healing able comrades. And
Both of them are
gonna-
sharing a square right now. For those of you
Yeah.
listening at home.
I'm gonna miss them and just really waft all kinds of spores diagonally toward blue orange.
Okay, and that's a
Yes.
fortitude save of 15, right? Okay.
Yes.
That's an 8 for 12, so it fails.
All right.
It is snail
Let's put the
time.
snail on there.
Snail. Snail is
Snail.
for slow. Passive. Hi, puppy. Way to go, Gary. Nautia, you're not dead. Cedric is like Cedric, you put her on the ground, you're cradling her.
I like put her down on top of Fletcher.
Oh.
He seemed like the most comfortable object.
But there's another guy on top of.
Yeah, there's like a guy in that square and also another dead guy.
Yeah, just kind of wedged her in between the dead beetle and Fletcher's body. You know, just
So,
stabilize the neck.
So-
You know.
cozy.
has Fletcher been stabilized yet?
Nope.
And then I'm just...
She just reaches backward and like pats him.
Yeah, pretty much. Just a pat, and that's gonna have to be a cure minor wounds, which will only get you one, but that's what I got. That'll stop you from dying more.
Yep, so you get 1 hit point back and you have stopped dying. Yay! By the skin of their teeth, friends.
It's a good thing you were not pacified.
Oh, actually, I'm gonna use that move and just kind of hop back to the other side of Lucanus. Just get go.
So you're gonna move through the square with the blue orange?
I can't do that.
Wait, he's
No,
pacified,
never
isn't he?
mind.
Well, he's pacified, but like that's still like physical.
Oh,
like
gotcha.
there's someone there, right? Like
Right.
yeah.
Can I
Yeah.
fly over him? Is over an option?
Give me.
I love how there are like 4 beings stacked on top of each other in one, and we're trying to work out if
Yeah,
it's possible to
yeah.
fly over another.
I mean, yeah.
So it's not very tall in here, so I'm gonna make you make a. So you want to go over blue orange. Give me an escape artist check to figure out if you can get through there. Also, that will provoke an attack of opportunity from Pink.
From pink. Oh.
Okay. I mean, I would have yeah.
Pink has not been rolling very well.
I'm not
It's
counting
saving
on
it
that
just to
at
knock
all.
Nautia out of the air.
Yeah.
Ready to tee off.
Escape artist. Oh, why? It's
Oh, no.
+6, but I only rolled a 3, so 9.
Oof, no. So you don't make it. The ceiling is just, it's too low and there's too much going on. However, Pink did not actually succeed in hitting you. It rolled a 7. So
Cool.
yeah. So, you know, it's fine.
It's crowded.
It's a draw.
So I'm just gonna hang out here with Fletcher and just
Neat. It'll be great. Now it is the FFA's turn, which means it's pink. Cindy, pick high or low.
High.
Okay. It's an 11, so it hits Cedric. Let's attack Cedric.
I'm so ready for it.
It's a 16.
Oh, my AC is 17. That sucks for it.
Okay, so that was the bite. And now the spear.
Damn it.
That's a 10. It misses.
Yay!
I'm rolling like shit today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank goodness, because my hit points are still shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, you got a little bit more than me.
Yeah.
Okay, so it would be Fletcher's turn. So you're just gonna lay there. But you're not dying, so you don't have to do anything.
Yeah, I'm still at -1, so all I can do is just lay there, unconscious but stable.
Yep.
Yeah, just breathe. You're gonna be fine, buddy.
I'm just gonna be an unconscious, totally stable genius.
Oh no.
Oh my god, I'm dead. Oh wow.
But
okay.
thankfully he's not.
Yeah. Yep. Wow. Amazing. At the top of the round, the creatures go again. There's only one of them that's not pacified. So that's purple, attacking Lucanus again. With the bites.
Fine.
Oh god, off the table. That's a dirty 20. That hits. The bite is... Lucanus, you take 6 points of slashing damage. And then it will spear you. I'm assuming you're still up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. How you doing, buddy?
Let's find out.
Yeah. Roll that beautiful bean damage.
With the spear is a 14.
14 damage?
No, to your AC.
Oh, yeah, that, my total AC is 15, so it doesn't hit.
Okay, so it hit you once with its bite, with its big mandible things on its face, but it missed with the spear. So that's that, because the rest of them are snailed. So now it's your turn.
Alright, I'm gonna go for purple.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
that hits.
That's
an
a
18.
big number. It's a 18 on the die.
Yeah, it's an 18 on the die, so
That'd
even
be
without the...
27 total.
Yeah, and then I rolled a 7 on the damage plus 1.5... What was it? 1.5 times...
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Don't even worry
it's
about
not-
it. He did. Okay.
Yes.
Way to go, Lucanus. Kay. They're right over there?
Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Duck Cedric.
Good.
Yeah, not me.
Okay. Can I shoot the pink one from here?
Yeah,
Okay. Does that go through combat? of
it
people?
does. It is in melee with them.
Well, whatever. I'm gonna try and shoot the pink one, I guess. Alright. Dun, 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 dun. Come on, die!
We believe in you.
I do not believe in me. I rolled an 8, so.
Nope. Sorry. Misses again.
He's worried about hitting Cedric, so it just... whoop,
I mean,
over.
legitimate
She
worry.
should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friendly fire! Gary.
Okay. Gary is gonna try to move. Can Gary shuffle down and then forward to next to the cairn of bodies?
What do you mean down and forward?
So 2 squares down and then 2 squares to the left.
So you mean you want to end up like here?
Yeah.
Yes.
1 forward. About
Like here.
Let me. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can do that.
Okay. And then I'm going to do a diagonal hit on the only unsnailed person.
Okay, on the pink one. Okay.
Pink. And not hit anyone else. Pacification. White.
Fortitude.
Spores.
15.
Wafting. A little cloud of skulls.
That's a 12. It also snails. So they are all pacified now for...
I don't feel as guilty anymore.
We haven't killed them yet.
I was going to say, you now have a minute where they're just standing there staring at you.
I am gonna. Okay, so as soon as I see that like white wafting towards the pink one, that's like at my back, I'm gonna dash back over to Fletcher.
You still need to be in order.
Oh, I do. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Sorry. So it's actually Nautia first, and then you.
Okay, so they're all pacified.
Yep. That means they can't take attacks of
So
opportunity.
So I have just all sorts of new friends here who are pacified. Okay.
They're just
What was
hanging
the one that you? Which one did you say looked like they were just barely hanging on?
Red green.
Red, green, and the one in front of me.
Red, green, and green, pink are both hanging on.
Green, pink. Oh.
Green, pinks.
And the one in front of me is not doing too well, right?
Blue, orange. Yeah, yes, all three. Wait, 4.
Okay.
Pink looks the best of the 4. The other 3 look pretty bad.
That's what I was thinking for I was already planning my next turn, so it's good to know.
Then since blue orange is just here, just in the middle of everything, I'm gonna go ahead and 2 claw attacks on that one.
Okay. Since you're flanking it and it's pacified, you get a +2 to your attacks.
All right. All right. Said I get a +2.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I rolled a natural 1 on one of those. So that comes out to 7, 8, 9, and then 19 plus 8. So
27. That one hits. Yes.
So, yeah. So that was the first one, and the second one was the no die. 1d3. So that's 3, 4, 5. 5 points on blue orange.
He did.
Yay!
Good.
Yay. I'll just move him out of the way so that it doesn't look like Fletcher's dead.
Cool. And now I am gonna just go. Can I get over Fletcher? Is it just Fletcher there at that point?
Yeah. You can make another escape artist check.
Oh, sure. 18?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna hop over. In fact, can I get out of range of red green?
Yep. Yeah.
I'm gonna do that.
Nice. Okay. Neat. Now it's Cedric's turn.
I'm gonna cast Cure Minor Wounds on Fletcher for 1 hit point.
All right, so I think that makes Fletcher at 0 now.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And then, I am going to.
He's conscious.
Yeah. So I'm gonna look around, and I can see that all of these guys are kind of temporarily, glazed out. I am gonna step here.
Okay.
Assuming that Lucanus is gonna attack that guy next.
Oh yeah.
Kind of provide him some advantage.
Yep.
Not technically advantage, but
he'll only get flanking if he moves, but yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. No. I am going to move and then.
Totally. Fletcher, you are at 0 now, right? So you're conscious and still on the ground, but you can't really do anything. So,
Yeah.
there you are.
Poor Fletcher.
It would be the bug's turn, but they are pacified, so now it is Lucanus' turn.
All right, I'm gonna move up here, and I mean these guys aren't doing well, right?
Not so much, yeah.
Okay, I got a natural 20.
Yeah, so roll your damage twice. I'm just gonna tell you right now, red green only had 2 hit points, so I'm pretty sure you kill it.
I mean,
Because
at
there's
this point,
no way rolling 2d6 plus 6 that you can't kill it.
yeah. So I
It's
did
dead.
what I did.
It's
I mean, that
dead.
it just dissolves into a mist.
So dead.
There is no body.
Coated
it is-
in bug mist.
Yeah.
Ugh. It's like bug spray, but not the kind you want.
Yeah.
Okay, Kay.
Okay. Again. So probably there's just like a line of allies. So if to shoot around them. So we have the
Oh.
pink one and the pink green one
Yep.
that are still alive.
Yep.
What's that terrible movie where they're like bending the bullet paths?
The Matrix.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Oh no, I know what you're talking about. Oh
Is
damn.
it wanted?
yeah.
Wanted. There we
Yeah.
go.
Oh, is that where they do like
No.
straight arm across and like
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So you just gotta turn the
Angelina
gun real
Jolie
quick
and James
and the
McAvoy.
little.
Bend it. Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that and get rid of my -2.
Or you could do like in Robin Hood where he like shoots the first arrow and then like shoots a second to like knock it into a different
Yes.
course.
Yeah, the Patriot arrow.
I'm much more
Yeah.
behind that.
Which one are you shooting at?
I'm gonna try and shoot the pink one, I guess.
Okay.
It is shooting over Fletcher's head, I believe.
Yeah, and it's technically in melee kind of with Cedric, and also you're shooting past Gary. So yeah, with the -2. Yeah.
Alright, awesome. Come on, friend. Nope. 7.
Oh, sorry.
Wait, 7 on the dice or 7 total?
7 on the die. But I only have a +3 and then a -2, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Gary.
Gary.
I'm so excited. Yes.
Gary moves.
Gary's like a
Uh,
Pokemon. Gary!
Okay, Gary, they're the one that like saved us basically by pacifying everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Them
Absolutely.
being able
move.
to do that.
Good move.
By the
So-
way, I
thanks,
just
Gary.
love,
We would literally all be dead.
I love field conditions in battle. Those are the coolest things.
So Gary moves forward to flank pink.
You could flank it from. Whoops, that's not the
Is
right
flanking
guy.
good or bad?
Flanking is good. You can
Good,
flank
yeah.
it from here,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's flank.
and then you can do
I'm-
a slam attack because you moved.
I am gonna do a slam attack.
Marvelous. That means you'll get a +2 on top of your normal pluses.
Okay, and
Just
I'm rolling.
Arm bar it.
I'm rolling.
Uh-huh.
Yes?
Yep. Roll
Okay,
a d20.
D20.
Yep.
So is a slam attack like
Oh no.
I don't know, like the opposite of like
Oh no.
It's a
Oh, no.
3.
It's a 3.
Oh, no!
That's
Sorry.
about what I would expect a slam from a fungus to be, though. So.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah. That's
Get-
+5 +2. That's not enough. Yeah. Sorry, Joe. What were
Really
you asking?
big fungus, though.
no,
It's
like
really big
just
fungus.
just so that I can envision what's going on here. Like, you know when Mario jumps on top of a Goomba, is that like what a slam attack is?
Slam is sort of the like catch-all phrase for a lot of monsters and their attacks. So like I imagine it kind of like punching except not, because like any like slime or like gelatinous cube or a mimic that has like pseudopods or whatever to attack you, it'll just be a slam because you're just
I got
getting smacked by something, but it's not like identifiable
gotcha.
anatomy. Yeah. So
My
Gary's just
Julio.
slamming them with some part of themselves. Yeah.
I was just imagining like a headbutt kind of thing,
Sure.
with like the top of the
Or a
top of the
shoulder
fruiting
check.
body. Yeah. Yeah.
I've just
Ow.
yeah.
Slam it.
I've just had the Mario theme going through my head for a while, so
Totally. All right, that was Gary. Nautia, are you cowering behind Lucanus?
The left. They're all like way over there.
Yeah.
What was? Oh, I have too many pages now. What was the limit on? Sorry. Yeah, no. Sure, I'll. Pink is still looking pretty good, right? Or not too bad?
Of the two that's left, yes.
Oh, what the hell. I'll get up in his face and 2 claw attacks.
Yellow. Woohoo.
Ooh. 6, and is Bless still in play?
Think so?
I think so.
Yeah,
Could
it's
be,
10
yeah.
rounds, so.
Okay. So that's a 14 and a 15?
Nope. Sorry.
Well, fine.
AC is 16, so you were real close.
Dang.
Sorry. Cedric.
How does Fletcher look?
Oh, wait, sorry. It's its turn, and they can technically move half their movement, so it's gonna 1, 2, 3. Yeah. It doesn't like this whole claws in its face thing.
Wait, it moved away?
Yeah.
Do we get
Oh!
attacks of opportunity?
Yeah, you both do, because it left both of your... Yeah.
All right.
All right.
One
that
melee.
something-
Huh?
Is that something Gary can do?
Technically it's still in melee with you, so not yet.
is it something I can do because it's within range of me?
No, it was not. It was not in range of you.
There's
I need
other
to be
people
closer
between
to.
you and him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right. Okay.
Oh,
Well, yeah, that's
Nice.
I got a crit plus
why does it say strength
24.
check?
I just rolled strength. 'Cause
Oh.
I just instead of clicking my warhammer,
That's fine.
I just rolled strength. So yeah. Sorry.
So it's
20,
a crit.
Yeah, 24.
Yep.
So double dice in
Mhm.
3-5. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll let you choose. You can either double dice or you can roll once and multiply.
That is
Wow.
a 13.
Yeah. It's...
Oh, actually, so it says on critical, it says ×3 for
Oh.
Warhammer.
Yes.
So do I get to roll another d8?
I mean, it's like really dead already, but you can make it in case.
Oh no, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker. Yeah.
Cedric
That's
is going Lucanus on this bug.
20 damage. Yeah.
20 damage.
Sorry. I know Nautia also hit. I'm sorry to
You-
steal.
You alone.
Oh, I just went ahead and rolled my damage because I fully intend to do that extra 4 points of damage to the corpse.
Yeah.
Is there even a corpse left?
Yeah, Cedric.
No.
Cedric, you alone overkilled it by 12 points. And then...
Just like
It's dead.
puddle on the ground.
Well
Just-
done, Cedric.
so,
It's very dead.
so dead. Wow.
Then we high five.
Cedric, now it's your turn.
Okay. I'm gonna.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow, indeed.
Oh.
Wow.
Ride
So-
that adrenaline.
I
yeah,
didn't
like
know that.
I turn around like adrenaline pumping, big grin on my face, completely covered in hemolymph.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna march over to Fletcher and reach out to try and grab his hand to like pull him to his feet. And as I do, I'm gonna cast Cure Minor Wounds for 1 more hit point. That's all the spells.
Oh no!
You're up. +1 now.
Oh boy!
I'm probably not worth spending that on.
Oh.
I mean, to be
Fletcher,
fair,
don't say that. We love you.
Important part
I
of this
mean,
group.
to be fair, I'm sure like Fletcher's up to full now, so.
Woo! Hey Fletcher, it's your turn. You have a turn.
Kill the last guy.
Yeah,
Do it.
Fletcher, you deserve to have this one.
Right.
I'm sure I won't be able to even hit it.
Ryan,
though.
Ryan, he has 1 hit point.
Okay, but I still would have to be able to hit
Yes.
it with something.
Yeah, just hit it with your stick.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm feeling like
Pick
if
up a
all
leg.
of that just happened, I don't know how I would possibly be able to think up like trying to create a spell. So I probably would just try to do something with my quarterstaff.
Yes.
Do it.
Like
Do it.
You should rip a leg off of one of the corpses. And use it.
Beat him with his own leg.
Yeah, we're all going real like.
Lucanus just sort of stands aside and does a after you.
I think we have feeling right now as a group.
I stressed them out. That's what I'm hearing here. What? No, you did not roll a 1.
I rolled a 20. That might be my first 20 of this campaign.
And what a better, there is no better way to have rolled your first 20.
First standing turn.
So Cedric grasps a Fletcher, forearm to forearm and hauls you to your feet, and you sort of stand up using your staff, and you sort of shuffle over to this insectoid who, like I said before, is just leaning against the wall, barely has any energy left. You sort of scuff your feet a little in the dirt and wind up with your stick and just take its head off.
And I did just roll max damage too. So
The head goes
somehow a wizard just dealt 12 damage with a quarterstaff.
Why didn't you do that before?
That probably
Everybody-
will never
everybody's
happen
just
again.
Everybody is just silent. Did you know you?
The only sound is the head bouncing down the hallway.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh.
wow. That was a really stressful combat.
Yeah. And we are barely anywhere in this place.
Hey, you survived.
Entered.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
far.
That was
I have-
amazing.
The first encounter.
That was amazing. That was great. I'm so proud of you guys.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
So you guys remember when I was like, "Oh, we're gonna find out." I'm hanging on by 2 hit points.
Oh.
Oh my god, I did almost
wow.
kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
Kate, you're still
Yeah.
fine. Kate's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, I'm at full. I never got close enough to get hit.
So Nautia's at 1, Lucanus is at 2, Fletcher's at 1,
I'm at 4.
Cedric's at a big 4.
Yeah.
Kate just walked over. She's like, "Hey, how you guys doing?"
The boys
was
are
weird.
leaning on one another, sweating and bleeding, and
I still have an arrow sticking out of my back.
No,
That I'm
Lucanus
not even
pulled it
aware
out
of
your-
anymore.
Lucanus
Oh,
pulled
okay.
it out of your back before.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Wow, that was very stressful, and you guys did an amazing job.
Wow.
So I contributed, I think, exactly 1 arrow to Cedric's back and 1 arrow in one of the dudes.
You also stabbed one of them with your sickle.
Oh, I also stabbed one with my sickle.
Nice job, guys.
There were quite a lot of them when we started.
There were
Yeah.
quite a lot of them.
Maybe too many.
I mean, obviously not, because you're all still alive. I would
mean,
say that
yeah.
was a well-balanced encounter. It was challenging and stressful.
Between 4 of us, we don't quite have double digits in hit points.
Yeah.
So we're out of combat now, right?
You are.
So it's a free for all.
Yeah, what would you like to do now?
Oh, I want to loot.
You want to loot.
Yeah, is there
Uh,
anything useful on any of these?
Before we
Oh,
get to that,
ooh.
would this be a good time to take a break?
Yes, it would actually be a perfect time
Yeah.
to take a bio break on the head. Yeah, so we're going to take a quick bio break, and then we'll come back and do more things, including having a big science chat about what these things were and what inspired this encounter. In the meantime, grab a refreshment or use the restroom. Also, don't forget to donate to the Bail Project through our campaign on Tiltify. And we will see you all again shortly. Bye.
Hey.
Hello, we're back. Nancy turned off her camera, so now I have to move name things around. It's fine.
Sorry.
It's really
I'm the
fine.
worst.
It's okay. What's happening here? I'm trying to move things and I don't know what's happening. Okay. Yeah, so they just finished combat, which was very exciting. They did a great job. Sorry, I'm trying to like talk and also move things at the same time, and my brain is having trouble. Okay, there we go. Names are back where they belong. Yeah, you did a great job in your combat. It was awesome, if a bit stressful and terrifying. So now what would you like to do?
Cry.
Loot.
Loot.
I am looking for healing potions.
You can do both of those things. Lucanus, you're sort of looting generally?
I am trying to relieve the things that just attacked us of whatever valuables they had.
Right, I guess what I meant was you're looting generally like all of the bodies. Is anybody else assisting
Yes.
Lucanus with looting all the bodies?
Can anyone?
No.
Gary,
I'm like looking deeper into the tunnel, like on guard in case there's something else coming.
Okay, where would you like to be for that?
I would like to be
You can move yourself on the map.
like here, next to Gary.
Okay. Yeah, so you can see what looks like a turn. I think you can see that on the map. I revealed it. So you can see what looks like a turn. And if you're keeping watch, you can give me a perception check. Brian, it looked like you were going to say something?
yeah, Gary, before the looting starts, wants to examine these cadavers and look for fungi or other sort of detectable things that make them unique.
Okay. So Lucanus is looting the bodies. Is anybody else helping Lucanus loot the bodies?
I would like to help loot bodies.
Okay, so the two people who are looting bodies can give me search checks, and then Gary, do you have Gary, you don't have a search check, like you don't have that skill on your thing, but it's it'll be just a straight D20 roll.
You got a 15.
Well, I got a critical. I got a 1, so
Okay.
Boy.
Got a 10.
plus 5.
You got a
6
10.
total.
So Gary, as you're sort of investigating the bodies, you notice that some of them were definitely different than others. Some of them appeared to be while they were alive stronger. It took more hits to kill them. And yeah, there's two different kinds here, but you can't really tell more than that. And then Kay got a critical fail, but Lucanus got a 15 plus whatever on search. So Lucanus, you find on one of the stronger ones, one of the ones that was harder to kill, you find a gold like armband on one of its not a bracelet, it's like a bicep band, a gold armband on it. You also... Oh, wait. No, yeah, sorry. That's all you find on the bodies.
So it's just a gold armband?
Yeah. It's got some, it's got some, design type stuff on it, but yeah.
Cool.
Try not to sound so disappointed, Joe.
Oh, Lucanus was mostly just hoping for healing potions.
Question.
Question?
Did we pass any streams or tributaries or any other sorts of bodies of water close to this location?
Not around here. It would be kind of a ways back, like south in the forest, yeah. Wanted to go take a healing bath?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I got an 8 on my perception check, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, the tunnel beyond, like I said, it curves, so you can't necessarily see beyond the curve. But it appears silent and, no activity or anything. Remember, when these things were alive, they've got spears and they've got mandibles, so there was a lot of, like, clacking and chittering and stuff going on, but you don't hear any of that now.
Gary wants to connect to the network.
Okay. Nature check. Nature check.
I'm just imagining like, a thought bubble with like the Wi-Fi bar symbol.
Just a 10.
Can we make the dial-up sound?
Was that just a 10 on the die?
Just a 10 on the die.
Okay,
yeah.
but yeah, you have a knowledge nature skill,
Ooh.
right? That you have to add to that?
I think I do. Let me see. Feats, skills, knowledge nature +2, so 12.
Are you looking under circle leader?
Yeah, let me check.
Knowledge nature is +4.
Okay.
So yeah.
4, so 14.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so yeah, you plug into the Hyphal network similar to how you guys saw Gary do this before. Their arms just sort of like grow into the dirt of the floor here. And you listen for a moment, and you listen very carefully, and you're pretty sure the tunnels are empty. You can sense or hear or see with your mind's eye that the tunnel continues snaking through the ground, but you can't sense any more of these things.
Okay. So blue spores waft from Gary, and they're wafting toward everyone.
Does anybody resist the blue spores?
No, I do like a resigned sigh.
Negative.
Worn out.
Okay.
Gary says, "Way to go, everyone! It doesn't seem like there are any more in the tunnel."
Gary's
Oh,
such a
thank
cheerleader.
Moradin.
So happy.
Okay.
Remember how they told you before you went into the tunnel that you were invincible and you could totally do this? Gary is the best cheerleader.
Yeah.
We were not invincible. We managed to barely do it.
Gary is that friend who, when you're drunk, convinces you to do unsafe things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, precisely.
Wing mic on it?
Gary leaves the connection open just in case we would like to say other things to each other.
Yeah, that lasts for like an hour, half hour, something like that. Anyway. Yeah. Okay, what else would you like to do?
So there's nothing in here, Gary? There's nothing else in here that's going to try and kill us? Because honestly, I don't have much left in me.
There aren't any more of these, is what I can say.
All right.
These.
These two different types of creatures, I couldn't sense any of them with my network.
How about
Pretty handy.
all your like stolen food? Can you like smell it or something?
I kind of have to ask the network very specific things, and I didn't ask about that.
But you would remember that the tree that they brought you to smelled familiar.
Yes. When we arrived, it smelled very reminiscent.
Do I recognize these guys at all? Is that something I've run into before?
Do a knowledge local check.
Six.
Nope. I mean, there are lots of bugs in the rainforest, and also it's a huge place, so, like, yeah, haven't seen these particular creatures before.
Should we heal the people who are hanging on by a thread?
We are out of healing spells.
Can I do a heal check? That's a thing that I can do. Right?
That is a thing that just stops death. In order to add hit points, you have to have a potion or a spell or something. Yeah.
I can do 2 more points total, but I feel like maybe I should hang on to those.
A good idea.
It seems safe.
Yeah, Nautia, hang on to those.
Well, I mean, I feel like if this tunnel really is empty, that's a pretty defensible position. I feel like we should make sure it's actually cleared out, and then we could stay here for a while, because I don't know about you guys, but I really think I need like a day or two. Like, I'm just not feeling super great. Wouldn't mind just, like, I mean, this tunnel's pretty dry, and I don't know about you guys, but like my feet have not been dry since we got into this jungle.
It's actually
we're not eventually
to be dry.
The what?
It's actually bad for my feet to be dry.
Oh, well, it's bad for my feet to be wet. Yeah, like
I can actually get better if I can find water.
Oh gosh,
right, that's
you guys. Just want to have dry socks for once. Is that so much to ask for?
I hear you.
Cedric's right. If we go further into this tunnel and run into trouble, it pays to have like the ability to fight and not die after one hit.
Well, I was actually thinking we go further into this tunnel, 'cause Gary did say that there's nothing else in here.
Yeah.
So we should make sure there's nothing else in here, and then we can barricade the front.
I mean, nothing else like what we just fought.
We just met Gary, so we trust him completely.
We do trust him.
They have
Gary has altered
base.
all of our minds with pharmaceuticals. I feel like we trust him in a somewhat supernatural way.
Cedric has a lot of faith in his weed guy, doesn't he?
Cedric has a lot of faith in general.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of his thing, his brand. Because you gotta have faith.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Faith.
I'm with Cedric. I want to see the rest of this tunnel, and then, maybe we can take a breather. Plus, Gary needs food, isn't he? Aren't they hungry? So
They are very hungry.
they're very hungry. So we should go down the tunnel and see if Gary's food is down there, so they are not hungry anymore.
Thank you, Kay.
Welcome.
Okay.
Fletcher's just leaning against the wall, waiting for a decision to be made.
Staring his feet,
Shut up,
heavy breathing.
He cannot.
Also reveling in his masterful kill.
No, I don't think that even matters. He's just he can't. He's just not even not gonna process or try to contribute anything right now. So out of it. So
Nautia sort of plopped down right next to him and is just snacking and maybe offer some.
It's kind of like Will Smith's "Welcome to Earth" moment from Men in Black. He just sort of punches him and he's like, "Welcome to your own house," I guess. I don't know what he would say.
Well, Cedric, if you want to, we can go down the hole together.
Definitely think we should all stick together, just in case. Here, hey Fletcher, you want a hand? He's gonna come over and do the whole drape one of your arms over his shoulders to help you walk further down the passageway, assuming you're willing.
I mean, that probably helps me get going, but then I'm able to walk, and I think I'm kind of at the back of the group, so I'm able to walk when you help me get up off the wall. I probably would not have had the willpower to get up off the wall I'm using to support myself. You got me going when I probably would not have done so on my own.
A Fletcher in motion stays in motion.
Yeah, and now I have I'm definitely using my staff to walk, and I'm just at the back of the group.
Totally. Cedric, are you leading?
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess so.
And Lucanus, are you taking the gold armband you found, or are you leaving it?
It's shiny.
We're taking it.
Okay, you're taking it. I don't know what happened. Okay, so then not everybody has to move themselves on the map, because I'll just assume you're all behind Cedric. But Cedric, if you want to move yourself on the map to go through the tunnel, and I will reveal.
Yes.
I will reveal as you're able to see more.
Yeah, you guys are all very trusting after the last dungeon that we went into. Cedric falls into a pit.
I wouldn't
die. We're just gonna leave you there.
I wouldn't use the same trap on you that quickly back to back. That's lame.
So I'm going to be moving slowly and carefully, like, because we are all injured, and I'm being very conscious of that. So like,
Cool.
as I approach the like turn in the path, I'm gonna like move to the wall and kind of like Scooby-Doo, kind of like peek around the corner.
Okay.
You're gonna like accidentally press a rock in the wall.
Oh.
Like a brood chamber, and we get swarmed by like immatures and just.
Lucanus has his crossbow out because he does not want anything
Solid.
like he doesn't want to be like. I mean, he knows he's pretty much on his last leg, so like he wants to
Charlie's
be
Angel
prepared.
style.
Yeah.
I hate to do this to you, but when you stopped raging, did you get rid of those temporary hit points?
Oh no.
I did, but that too is calculated without those.
Okay. So you have 4 hit points after dropping your rage.
2
Yes.
hit points.
2 hit points.
No, I have. So I ended up the battle with 6 hit points total, and I
Okay.
actually did start including my auxiliary hit points in that
Right.
because I was worried that I'd have to use them.
Yeah.
So when I stopped raging, I went down to 2.
Neat. Okay.
Yep.
So Cedric and Lucanus are at 2 hit points.
Yep.
Nadia and...
No, I'm at 4.
Oh, you're at 4. I'm sorry. Nadia,
Okay,
do you have 2? You have 1. Okay, so Fletcher and Nadia have 1. Cedric has 4. Lucanus has 2. Gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. Cedric, so you Scooby-Doo that, and you start to inch your way around the corner. I'll wait for you to come back so you can keep revealing.
All right.
No, it's okay.
You had one job, Peter.
But by the way, the reason I do that is so that I don't forget. The reason why I only add those auxiliary hit points when I need them is so that I don't forget about them.
Super smart. Love it.
Wait, so when I peered around the corner, what did I see?
I mean, like, I revealed a little bit more, but, like, your line of sight isn't real great right now, so
Okay.
there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like, do you know how corners work? Because...
Oh, there's another corner, you guys.
Oh no. Okay.
Well, keep going. We're right
Can-
behind you.
It's
I'm
almost
still
like it's
cautiously-
a labyrinthine gallery.
Does Gary's glow help us see further?
Not so much, because it's only low light, and Cedric already has dark vision, so, like, Cedric can see 60 feet into pitch dark, so, yeah.
Fletcher appreciates it, though, I'm sure.
Fletcher appreciates it, yeah.
Yes.
Cautiously kind of step forward, peer around this next corner.
Won't you light our sleigh tonight?
He's gonna like beckon everybody to like come,
Nothing over there.
and then keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Keeping on.
Lucanus is just sort of trudging, is how I'm gonna describe it.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing? This is great TV. Sorry.
I
guys.
know. I just last time I was like, I moved here, and you were like, all right, roll a dexterity saving throw.
They are inching their way down the hallway.
Mm-hmm. It opens up at the end of the hallway, and so I'm gonna kind of like step forward, and kind of peer both directions.
Do I see any hidden doors?
You do not. That isn't really an opening up. It's just how I made the gallery. So it's a right hand corner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Could
I
you
see.
move Gary, Cheryl? I can't move.
Yeah, like I
Gary.
said, you don't all have
Okay.
to move yourselves. I was just asking Cedric to move, since
Okay.
he's leading. So yeah, it's okay.
It's just fun.
Yeah, I mean that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
It just adds this element of tension.
That's what we're
All
here
right.
for.
Yeah. So I step around the corner.
Okay. Are you stepping
And-
farther?
I mean, do I need to? I feel like I can.
Yeah. Yeah, you
I can see,
probably
right?
See this much, yeah.
I think you traumatized him.
I don't think it's just him that she traumatized.
Yeah. There's so much more of this map.
Wait. Sorry, my laptop has a thing where it doesn't stay connected to the internet nicely.
Okay. I was
so-
like,
Sorry, it should be revealing more. Please? Oh my god. Why?
It's the extra dark part of the labyrinth.
Yeah. Oh my god, come on. Please connect to the Wi-Fi.
It'd
There we
take
go.
a minute
Okay.
for your
They
eyes
painted the
to
tunnel
properly
in that
adjust.
Vanta black.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Are we at the like Finding David Bowie part of Darkness of the Labyrinth?
You're
Yeah.
hilarious. Yeah, sorry, that was my laptop being really slow. But yeah, you can see all of this
Okay.
now.
So again, peering around the corner,
Uh-huh.
cautiously moving forward,
Uh-huh.
like watching the ground. Okay, now there's a fork in the road. Okay, so I can see straight ahead, and then there's like a doorway here. So I'm gonna move down and kind of like peer around the corner of this doorway.
Mm-hmm.
Can I knock on the door?
It's a door. It's an opening.
A door, it's just an opening. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a door.
No.
'Cause I
So
got
is
a
this-
killer knock joke.
So I just see this like large empty space. Is there anything in it? Or is
Give
it just,
me
like,
a
dirt floor?
perception check?
I don't know why I'm trying to open my character sheet. I'll just roll a d20. D20. That is a 22.
Wow.
No,
Yeah.
sorry, 20. 20.
Dirty 20. Yeah, the room appears to be empty.
Okay. I'm going to step into the room.
Okay.
I guess I'm going to continue on down to this far side of the room.
Okay.
And while we're like trundling along behind Cedric doing this, I'm gonna ask Gary if they like sense that smell anymore, since they mentioned that like they sense like when we were by the tree, it was like, oh, like they
Yes.
recognize something. I want to know, like, does that still appear, or does it, and like, is it getting stronger? Like, are we heading towards something if they can tell anything?
15
You
on a d20.
you don't smell anything familiar now.
Okay.
All right.
I
I'm
do
gonna
not.
cautiously peer around this corner.
Okay.
Move up.
Ooh.
Ooh.
This.
All
A
right.
thing.
You've
yeah.
explored the whole tunnel.
I mean, I don't know
Okay.
that yet, but
Yeah.
No.
I see something like way down the end of this tunnel that appears to be a dead end.
Mhm.
What does it look like?
It's a pile of like stuff. Odds and ends, bits of fabric, leaves, sticks. It looks kind of like a refuse pile.
All right. I'm gonna move down and cautiously poke it with my. My Warhammer is just so bad for poking things.
This is what you did.
Use
You
the
want a
handle.
dagger? I
Oh,
can
yeah.
give you a dagger.
Cedric's all about poking stuff. You know what he's gonna do? He's gonna kick it with his boot. He's
Okay.
gonna kind of like try and like nudge some of the larger things off of the top to kind of like see if there's anything like a giant swarm of spiders inside of it that might murder him.
This would be an amazing time for me to have planned a ragamuffin, but I did not. You're welcome. Those suck. Because they can like possess you inside your clothes. But it's looks just like a pile of junk, like I said. Just like
All right, I'm gonna-
stuff. Smells kind of musty.
Okay, I'm gonna actually like then like put down my Warhammer and start like rooting through it to see if there's anything in it.
Search check.
Search is. I'm not proficient in search, so it just add int.
It's not. It's not proficient. It's you can use it untrained, but you're saying you didn't put any ranks in it. I think.
I don't have any ranks. in
Yeah,
it.
so it's just
Yeah.
plus your intelligence.
Just end.
Okay. I got a 3.
Yeah, looks like a bunch of junk.
So there's stuff
Just a
there.
bunch of junk, guys. Yeah, I don't know. Looks like a trash pile. Hey guys, there's a trash pile in here, but I think this is the only thing in here. Maybe there's some
Gary,
stuff in
does
here
the
we could like.
trash pile smell particularly appetizing?
It does not.
Gary does not think
Yeah.
that it's that.
Maybe there's some stuff in here we could burn to like have a campfire or something.
So we came in here for nothing?
Oh yeah.
What about
Where are we
the-
in?
What about the lower portion? Is that sort of a wall? We've seen everything.
Yeah, that's the whole map.
Where are we in
Gary
relation
is
to that
very
tree?
You are underground and maybe like 30, 40 meters from it.
So we're not like anywhere near under it.
No.
Hmm.
Can Gary check the junk?
You can. So it's search. So it's oh, you're right, because you don't have an intelligence bonus, so it's just a straight D20 roll.
12.
12.
Better than 3.
You sort of like cautiously moving, so you don't get like real into the pile. But you see a flash of white.
Ooh.
There's something very small and bright white in there.
Hey, there's something small and bright white in here.
Oh, it's probably like a tooth or something gross.
I don't know. Pick it up.
What's a tooth?
Oh, so
It's what you have on the underside if you're not a guild mushroom.
Oh, okay.
I guess once Gary points that out, Cedric is gonna like go over and look in that particular part of the pile.
Okay. So Gary points out the sort of the area where they saw something small and bright white, and you dig around for a minute, and with their help, you find a small clay, it looks like a brooch, because it's like a little sculpture, but then there's a pin on the back of it, and the clay is sculpted to look like a pair of wings, and the wings are painted bright white, and there's a tiny green gem in the center of the front of this sculpture, like right where the wings meet. Like if it was a bird, the gem would be the body, and then there'd be these two wings.
So this is like a brooch, like
Yeah.
almost. Okay.
This
Do
looks
I-
distinctly not edible
Meh.
by anybody. You can try, Gary. Okay, tease though.
Gary turns green.
Do I recognize this, like in any way? Does it look familiar to me?
Give me an, do you have Knowledge Arcana?
I do.
Give me a Knowledge Arcana check.
Can you try rolling well?
Oh!
Apparently not. That is a 7.
Wow.
It's pretty. No
Yeah.
idea
Does
what it
it-
is.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like a pretty well-crafted brooch.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Like,
no,
yeah,
it's very well crafted. And it's
Yeah.
not at all dirty considering it's in this junk pile.
You should
I don't know,
lick it.
Kay, this looks. Do you want? I was gonna say it looks like it's your style, but if you want me to lick it first,
No, I don't think so. If you're gonna give it to me, I think maybe you
Is
should
that?
lick it.
okay,
Heather?
yeah, I mean,
Oh my god.
here you go. It's
She like pins it to herself. Well,
Okay.
not herself, her clothes.
Okay, so you're wearing it.
Uh-oh.
For better, for worse, yes.
Oh no.
Okay.
At least our
Does
healthiest
anything about the
person is
design look
wearing it.
familiar to me?
Do you have Knowledge Arcana?
No, just local
Nope.
was what I was thinking. Is
Sorry.
something I've seen around.
No.
Cool.
Yep.
Um,
Anybody else?
hey, Gary, have you thought about looking at the bug things? Because didn't you say something was carrying your food, and then they were at the entrance. Maybe they didn't get back here yet. Did you try sniffing the bug dudes?
Ooh. I did not, but I could go back and sniff them.
That's kind of what I thought you were doing when I had you search them before.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
yes, I did, and
Sorry.
it did not go well.
Huh.
Yeah, you
Well,
were able to tell that there was something different about those ones that you guys
Yeah.
had noticed were different, but you couldn't like put your proverbial finger on it. Your
So-
odd mismatched number of fingers on each hand on it.
Exactly. But 10 total.
Oh, but 10 total, right.
But 10 total.
So I'm gonna grab like a huge armload of this stuff and just like carry it back to the front of the cave
Okay.
and just like dump it, like, and fully intending to like basically build a fire in the mouth of the cave as like almost like a barrier,
Okay.
so that we can camp here overnight.
Cool.
Yeah, but guys, what are we gonna do about Gary? Because they're still hungry. I don't like.
Yeah, it's true.
We have some rations we could share with you.
You smelled it
Rations.
near the tree?
I don't recognize your rations as food, Cedric.
Oh,
It's okay. We don't recognize Cedric's rations as food either. So
Ooh.
I mean, we don't really recognize Cedric as food, so.
No,
I hope
I don't understand what you guys have against rat. Like, is it just that you like? Do you guys have some kind of like dietary?
you come to my town, you crap on my town, and then you eat rat. Like, what is wrong with you?
I mean, your town has like a lot of rats. I think that's a pretty nice thing to say about your town. Like, rat
We
population
do not
is
think
great.
that's a nice thing to say about our town, but thank
Wow.
you, I guess.
Very
if that's
few rats
acceptable
out here in
in
the
your
woods.
culture, Cedric, we accept it.
They've got some things to work through. Well,
So, it smelled best to me over by the tree. And this has
Gonna
been
go
fun.
Look at the
But
tree.
I think we
that
should look at
seemed
the
like
tree.
the best place for me.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like we should try and get Gary some food, and then we could come back here and hunker down. I know there's like a difference of opinions, but I don't want anyone to die from stab wounds and hunger, or otherwise.
And
So, all right, let's go to the tree with Gary. I'm gonna leave my pile of garbage right here in the mouth of the cave, and lead the way, Gary.
All right, to the tree.
All right.
We walk treeward.
so you head back to the tree. It's the same sick K-pop tree that you guys had investigated before.
Hmm.
So you said before that the bark was peeling, right?
Not that it was peeling, but that like if you peeled it, it would kind of like crumble in your fingers.
So then none of it's dry, because now I'm in like build fire mode. So I'm gonna see if I can get some dry.
The
Bark
tree
off of
is
this
not
tree.
dead.
Hmm.
And yes, it's still very moist.
so the bark
We
is
just lost 3
brittle then.
subscribers.
Hopefully they were 3 of the bot subscribers. Bye! No, for real though, we got like 700 bot followers on our Twitch channel, so that's great. Anyway.
Hooray, question mark?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome our future overlords.
Yes.
Yeah, ruled by Twitter bots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's still like the wood is still damp, it's just kind of like crumbly and obviously like not the way it should be, or it's not like other K-pop trees.
Can I
In front.
poke around and find some more suitable firewood nearby?
Yeah. Give me a survival check. It's not for whether or not she'll survive. It's like it's like Brian's face. It's like survival skills. So like whether or not
yeah.
you can like set a fire or like track someone or something, or like set a snare to catch a rabbit or whatever. Not whether or not you survive.
Bear Grylls skills.
Yeah.
Tea drinking skills.
Yeah.
That's an 18, so yeah, 18.
Yes, you find plenty of suitable firewood. You
Oh,
scour the area and you find wood that was protected from the rain, and yeah.
In
No easy
frustration, Gary scratches all the bark off the tree.
Well, doing all of it would take a long time because it's a giant K-pop tree.
Gary scratches a Gary-sized chunk of bark off the tree.
Gary, as you do that smell, just the familiar, delicious smell of that food fungus wafts over you, and give me a knowledge nature check. Nature check.
14.
Is that including your +4?
No, 18.
Gary, this tree is infected or inoculated with your food fungus.
Little enzymatic droplets drip from the
Oh God!
of Gary.
Is Gary drooling, guys?
I think he is.
It turns
Enzymatic
bright
droplets
green.
was the best way to explain drooling.
Cedric takes a big step back.
Is he gonna like? Are they gonna like lick the tree or something? What?
I don't know if Gary has a tongue, but
No, Gary does not have.
Who knows what's hidden under there?
The
To be
world is
honest.
Gary's tongue.
Does Gary have a mouth?
Does
Gary is a
have
very
mouth?
mysterious creature.
Gary has
being
eyes
thing.
and no mouth.
yeah, I
Oh.
think, yeah.
Gary is technically an inside-out intestine, isn't he?
All
Uh,
fungi are.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't think that's helping Gary's public image.
Y'all liked them before now.
Blue spores waft out, and I say, "Hey, this tree is inoculated with my fungus."
All right. Do you want me to
What
like?
does that mean?
Yeah, do we cut it down? Do you just chew on it?
I don't know.
even though
This
you
is
don't
the
have a mouth?
first time. This is the first time I've seen my fungus on a tree and not in my gentle garden.
Well, let's first. It's the breakout bell. I feel like this is the perfect time for Brian for us to explain to the rest of the group and to the audience what this whole storyline was that you came up with. So you want to explain what your inspiration was for this?
Yeah. Okay. So, written into the myconid race is the fact
Sorry,
that
we're going to use species just because
Species.
that makes more sense.
and
Yeah.
that
And
makes
it's
me
more
feel much
accurate.
happier too.
Yeah.
Written into the myconid species is the fact that they feed off of lesser fungi that they grow, which effectively those would be the molds that I was describing. So they grow anamorphic fungi, and they are the telomorphic fungi, and they eat them, which kind of makes sense in a weird way. And the idea that we had was that if they're already gardening this fungus, then we can take arthropods, which are naturally will garden or grow fungi for their lifestyle, and they will steal that fungus. So these sort of beetle-like creatures are analogous to ambrosia beetles or other beetles which would carry fungus, and they actually will have organs in their body near their mouths where they'll store these fungi. And then when they are sort of the way that they take care of their juveniles, the eggs that they lay, is by infecting trees with their fungus in a sort of tunnel that's called a gallery, and the fungus will grow on the tree and will kill the tree, eventually sort of girdling the tree, and their offspring will feed on the fungus that is degrading the tree. And the trick there is that the fungus has all of these sort of enzymes that it's secreting to break down the lignin and all the other things that are really hard for insects to break down, and turning it into delicious fungus. So that was kind of the concept behind how we deal with the myconid species, and also why these elytra-bearing creatures would be interested in it, is because they can grow it, and it will cause the symptoms on the tree that you saw even before you met Gary, and they would presumably be feeding on it themselves if we hadn't slaughtered them mercilessly.
Well, so I designed the insectoid creatures that you fought. I called them ambrosids because that's how you make names for species in D&D. So they are based on ambrosia beetles. And I used a template. There's another like insectoid species, a beetle of some kind. I sort of used that as a template. And the ambrosids came in two different varieties, as it were, right? So you had the ambrosids that went at the top of the initiative that were just like the quote-unquote normal ones. And then the FFAs, which my favorite was still that you called them future formicids of America. That was great, except that they're not ants. But FFA stood for fungus-fed ambrosids. So the ones that had actually eaten the fungus were stronger. So they
I like
had
it.
they had stronger natural armor, so their cuticle was like thicker and stronger, so they had a higher armor class, and they also had more HP.
Yeah, that explains why the one that I thought was dead didn't die the first time we figured out that there were.
Yeah, so there were a few of them that were tougher than others.
The other thing that's interesting about that is that we had to fight them in effectively a tunnel, and it made them a little bit harder to fight.
Mhm.
And it's really hard to control beetles that are inside of trees, because how do you get your treatment into trees?
Yeah.
So that
Ryan is
worked out as
nodding
well.
so vigorously.
So yeah, and that was it's I know the audience can't see it, but it's a sort of twisty, turny, back and forth, zigzaggy tunnel, just like the tunnels that are made in many trees by many tree tunneling insects. So that was the ambrosia beetle gallery in the tree, except that it was underground because the tree was not big enough for all of these person-sized bugs. But you get the idea.
There's actually a group that works on ambrosia beetles in Florida, Hairy Ulcers group, that took the cross sections of the trees and the galleries they displayed at an art museum, because
That's
they're sort of
brilliant.
forming art with the fungi and the insects interacting, and it was a really cool installation. I didn't get to see it, but I saw photos of it online. It's a nice way to sort of show people what's happening and sort of get inside that tree.
Well, that's brilliant science communication.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
So yeah, that was the story that Brian came up with, and I loved it, and that's what inspired this whole encounter.
I also really appreciate the trash heap at the very end of the labyrinth. Just that, like, I mean, in some burrowing insects, there's like that's where they deposit. Yeah, like the feces will accumulate at the very back of the gallery.
I tried to make it very thematic and accurate.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because this is kind of what's happening up here in Wyoming. Wyoming's the epicenter of a lot of ecological things because we're like one of the few states where the majority of the state is undeveloped. So we have a lot of interesting grassland pests, and a lot of the woodlands are affected by the bark beetle invasion. So we get a lot of wildfires because of these guys.
Mm-hmm. Well, and because of fire suppression, but that is a hot take I will save for later.
yeah, that is, yes, as you should.
I was like, the number one thing I had to address with people when I worked in Colorado is that people blamed the insect for the wildfires, and I was like, but no.
But no.
Well,
yeah. But also,
I mean, yeah. That's
So any more questions or thoughts about fungi, myconids, ambrosids?
No, I love it. That was great.
A lot of the wood boring insects, by the way, are really, really cool. So like there's this wood wasp. I want to say it's Cyrix noctilio. That's
It's a sweet name.
Pest over. I don't even think it has a common name. But it's a pest way over on the East Coast, and it does something very similar to what these guys do. It lays eggs, infects trees with fungus, and then the larvae eat the fungus. But they're using a biocontrol agent to control this. And this is, by the way, like one of my favorite parasites. But what this worm does is it actually it'll actually live in the fungus and eat it, and then when the larva eats the nematode, or the nematode burrows into the larva, I don't remember exactly which one it is, but it will my understanding is that it will the larvae will burrow into the wasp larva. It's a wood wasp, and they will wait for the ovaries to develop, and they will actually migrate up to the ovaries, hollow out the eggs, and then just sort of sit tight inside the eggs, so that when this wasp goes to lay her eggs in the next tree, she's just laying nematodes.
That's cold.
Yeah.
Tough out there.
Also, everybody should have a favorite parasite.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you
check.
And by the way, every time I say the phrase "my favorite parasite," it'll be a different thing.
All parasites are my favorite. They're I love them all equally. So good.
Except for ticks.
Yeah.
I hate ticks.
Micro predators.
The worst thing
right?
about changing my field work from working in like the prairie out in the wherever to working in grassland areas that are really close to people's homes, because now I'm an urban ecologist, I found more ticks on me on Thursday, just on Thursday, than I did the entire 3 years that I worked in field work from my master's, because there are so many more ticks in like urban suburban areas, and it was very frustrating.
Great.
I had Lyme disease twice.
No.
I got a fun crash course on Lyme disease symptoms and signs because I worked on a film last year that was out in just the absolute middle of nowhere. And one of the producers came in, he managed to find a tick, and that was some fun, fast Googling to figure out how to deal with that one.
Well, if you're living in Texas, I don't think you have to worry about Lyme disease. I think it's mostly in like the Northeast and sort of scooting over into the it's moving,
growing.
but it's not going that far south.
Yeah, it's not in Texas yet.
None of us out there was especially well versed in pretty much any of the wildlife in the area.
That's why you got to call your
better safe than sorry.
Yeah, just call your extension agent.
Yep. Jody, who was on the episode 9 of the Arda Campaign as Tempest, the Abyxian barbarian, she routinely posts on Twitter about finding like coming into work and finding like Ziploc bags full of like weird insects that people found on themselves that they want her to identify. So
yeah, well, that's something. Then we're getting into different territory there, because there's like the whole mental illness thing.
I mean, if
they also do a lot of tick stuff.
Yeah.
And Jody has done a lot of tick work, and Nebraska's right there on the edge. Really where Lyme does occur.
I suppose the dark humor, since Cindy mentioned the signs and symptoms of Lyme disease, the dark humor is that it is basically like the flu, but in summertime.
Yeah.
Which feels like not awesome. I mean, it already wasn't awesome, but now it really feels not awesome. So.
It is like the flu, but in summertime, but it also has like symptoms that will, affect you for like 20, 30 years if you don't get it taken care of right away.
I was going to say, there's some unpleasant neurological stuff.
And it's very bad. Your heart.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I absolutely want to mention, since we're talking about Lyme disease, a lot of the signs and symptoms that we teach people to recognize, like the erythema migrans, the bullseye rash, don't happen on people who are not white.
And they don't even happen on all white people.
They don't even happen on all white people, but if you're talking about, somebody who's like a black hiker,
right,
and they get bitten by a tick, because their complexion is so dark, they won't be able to see that bullseye rash. Right. And that is something that I want to put out there, just in case there's any, grad students or academics or anything like that. Mention this to the medical entomology instructor, because it is something that we actually need to start talking about in medical entomology classes, because a lot of the symptoms, a lot of this is how you diagnose Lyme disease, does not apply to,
And that's an especially important point, because there's an episode of House where they at the last minute diagnose that the black kid had Lyme disease because they shave his head and find the rash on under his hair, and that wouldn't have actually been found.
No.
So it doesn't happen.
It's that episode is so great. They also Scrubs. They did an episode that made fun of House, and they did that exact same thing on that episode.
Yep.
So I wanted to. I feel like last session, Brian, you said. I think you said that Gary's name was a reference to something.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Is that, you want to explain that? Because I didn't get it.
So the mushroom that shows up in pop culture everywhere is that sort of red and white mushroom, and that's
You mean like the gnome house mushroom or whatever
it's
that
all
like,
over. It's
fairies
the
live
one
on or
in-
whatever?
It's
The one
in,
that
it's in
Makes you
Mario.
grow up big in Mario.
Yeah. So that's Amanita muscaria.
Yeah.
And it's the fly Amanita or fly agaric. And the reason why it's called agaric is because it's part of this family of agaricales, which are the like true mushrooms, what they were originally named after, and they're a kind of fungus which is basidiomycete, and those are the ones that are you can truly call mushrooms. So when I was talking about cordyceps, it's a different kind, and I was saying fruiting body when really that's a mushroom to most people. But that ties into that sort of etymology and that family of that mushroom. So that's where Gary came from, is from fly agaric.
Nice.
It's a little nickname.
And those red and white mushrooms, you guys are right. Like, you all immediately could come up with examples, right? That mushroom is just everywhere in pop culture. And I learned the weirdest thing about that mushroom. This was like 2 years ago now. I did an episode on my YouTube channel all about like nature iconography in the Christmas holiday.
Yes.
Did you know that Santa is red and white because of that mushroom?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we should talk about this. Okay, so this fungus produces a compound, a psychoactive compound. And it's called like muscarol or something like that. We're not very creative when we name things. This compound is supposed to make you trip.
Yeah.
So that's why you see it in like Alice in Wonderland and all these other like tales, is because it's gonna get you where you need to go.
It's a magic mushroom.
And for Santa, the idea that it's tied to is that in areas where this will grow, where there are also reindeer, the reindeer will eat it and they will trip. So the red nose
and reindeer flying,
and them flying is tied to this mushroom.
And if you drink the urine of a reindeer that's eaten this mushroom and tripped on it, you will trip on the urine. Like the chemical doesn't metabolize and break down in the reindeer's
Seriously?
body.
Yeah, so I think it's in Siberia, but there are like really ancient practices where people would drink the reindeer urine to have a sort of religious experience.
So okay, so this is very interesting because I have always heard that the red nose from the reindeer comes from the reindeer nose botfly, just like the fly larvae that, they'll spray their eggs into the reindeer nose and then they'll burrow into the mucous membranes and cause inflammation in the reindeer nose. And that was the red-nosed reindeer. But
maybe
that's equally awesome.
I haven't heard either of those red-nose explanations, so I like both of them.
Yeah.
So wait, Santa Claus is just a guy who's watching you all the time. He breaks into your house, and when he breaks into your house, he's high on reindeer piss.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And then he leaves presents.
That's where his colors come from.
Right.
Well,
Okay,
the tie to the theory is that he himself and the reindeer are tripping on this compound, and the gift that he would give you is whatever he learned from his trip.
Yeah.
So he's like arriving unannounced.
So it's like a spirit world emissary kind of dealio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
These are all
best mushroom.
These are all stories that can go in all different directions.
Sure.
That's sort of one of them.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of Venn diagram, Odin mythology, Saint Nicholas mythology, all coming together in a lovely mishmash.
But you didn't know Christmas had something to do with mushrooms.
I didn't. It's not a very mushroomy holiday.
Not really.
In my mind. Yeah.
I don't know that I can think of any holidays that do seem especially mushroomy.
420.
No, that's
not
very specifically not. It's even if you did consider it to be a holiday, it's about a different organism.
Kingdom.
It's a plant.
That's the first one that came to mind.
Yeah,
like Thanksgiving, you would eat like mushroom gravy.
Look, some people have ham on Thanksgiving. There's also rabbit. I'm just saying, 420 doesn't have to be all about pot.
Wow.
I mean,
Okay.
Austin does have this thing called Eeyore's birthday, and I feel like there might be some there, but
Yours birthday?
Go on.
someone told me the story behind it, and boy, I can't remember what it is right now.
We're gonna have
But
to research that and get back to you.
It's basically Austin being very, very Austin. And it's one of those things that started as like a just cool little tradition among a small group of friends and somehow turned into, we're all going to go out to a public place and just get really altered.
I mean, that kind of makes sense if you're celebrating the birthday of a clinically depressed donkey.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
That's so sad. Anyway, I feel like
I'll ask him and let you know.
Yeah, we've touched on Gary's story and sort of meandered. But that was our science breakout.
That is our present to you after our journey.
I do also just want to say that the last few kills there are extra sweet, knowing that now that I now know those are bark beetles, because pine bark beetles were a particular scourge in my hometown.
Yeah.
The street I grew up on was called Evergreen, and no longer has any pines on it.
Yeah.
If I can just get on one tiny soapbox.
Yes.
The myconids are listed as a plant.
Yes.
We
did that last time. I was like, get it out of your system. Gary is a plant creature.
But let me just get back on this for a moment. It has plagued mycology as a field for so long that they've been categorized that way. And even I currently am working in a plant and soil sciences department. And by separating them and thinking of them that way, I think that it's hampered the field. And it's something that we're seeing in the game. And it's something that is just sort of like, people still will think that and still think of them that way. And understanding them is actually more closely related to us is important for understanding their biology and also the evolution of things generally. And one of the challenges in clinical mycology is that because they're so closely related to us, it's hard to find things that you can target in fungi that will not hurt us as well.
Yeah.
So it's a very important conceptual link to make. And I understand that when it was written in the priorities, people are just gonna be like, oh, it's a plant and it doesn't move very much and I can't see it move and it looks like it has cell walls, so let's call it a plant. But it's a really important thing that we've learned with genetics and with a fuller understanding.
Well, just biochemistry, period.
The biochemistry and also the development, because the really basal fungi, they'll have flagella and things that are we would think of as much more animal and much more closely related to us than a plant. So going off of what you said about medicine, that's also kind of a problem in agriculture, because for a lot of things, there's a very tight link between agriculture and medicine. A lot of the stuff that you put on your feet when you get athlete's foot, that's one of the fungicides that we use when we're treating crops. So the fact that it's hampered medicine also means that it's hampered agriculture. So a lot of and it goes the other way too. A lot of insecticides for mosquitoes were originally developed for use in agriculture. Well, and just as one sort of final example, I put a call out on Twitter to find mycology departments in the U.S. And there were people who had shown really strong mycology labs or strong mycology courses at certain departments, but there's no really clear mycology department in any university that somebody could show. There are some divisions within other departments that are mycology focused or clinical mycology focused. But when you think about the diversity of fungi and how, as entomologists, we're like, oh, insects are so diverse, haha, they don't have a diverse group. And it's fungi completely annihilate any kind of diversity challenge. And yet we don't have full departments and people that are dedicated to training people to study them. It's always done on the back of something else. So that too, I would tie all the way back to the idea that they're plants and that they can be done either studying their interactions with plants or studying them as if they are something that only plant pathologists or plant people would be interested in. And who knows what we would know about fungi now if we actually had recognized that earlier.
Well, you want to hear something that's really going to piss you off, Brian?
Sure.
Here at the University of Wyoming, we have a botany department which studies plant biology, and a plant sciences department which mostly studies weeds. In fact, the weed scientists even have their own conference. So, whereas you guys get lumped into basically whatever fits, we have an entire subfield of botany that just studies plant-plant interactions.
Yeah. So that's my soapbox, but it's a small detail and it's annoying, and you can be like,
no, it is absolutely it is absolutely a soapbox worth standing on, because this would be the equivalent of there being an entire field of entomology, which is like, okay, what happens when bugs meet each other?
now kiss. I agree. That's an entirely worthwhile soapbox to be on. And if anyone out there listening has enjoyed the mycological conversations today, there may not be mycology departments at universities, but there are lots of classes, labs, and instructors and ways for you to learn more about mycology. And you can, in fact, grow up to be a mycologist, or even become an amateur one for funsies if you've already done your growing up, although who of us has? To get back into the story, while we've got a little bit of time left, Gary, this tree has been inoculated with your food. What would you like to do now?
Can I reach any to eat it?
So it's the hyphae are pretty well, part of integrated into the tree, but if you emitted
I have these droplets of enzymes.
Yeah,
here. Exactly.
If you emitted your digestive enzymes, I'm sure you could, slurp up a good meal eventually.
I'm going to
just like
first slurp up a good meal and then turn bright green, and then I'm going to release blue spores and say to the group that we need to cut down part of this tree and take it back with us.
All right.
And I don't have the ability to do that.
Is this something that I can use my rage for?
How many rages do you have per day?
So I already used one for that last battle.
Uh-huh.
So I have 3.
Okay. Yeah.
So
you just start like beating your own chest and slapping your face.
Yeah. So I am going to just draw my greatsword and hack at the tree as hard as I can.
Okay.
Seems maybe there could have been a better way to do that, but carry on.
I mean, a sword is probably not the most effective thing against a tree, but you can you'll hack some hunks off. You're not gonna chop down a kapok tree with a sword.
I know, but
before you break the sword,
you don't need the whole tree, just part of it, right?
Right? Yeah,
we just need part of it.
Nautia just
can I use my hand axe
and branches?
Can I use my hand axe?
Oh. So if to Fletcher's comment, and I don't know if this is what Nautia was going to say, but when Nautia flew up into the top did not seem as infected as the bottom. Probably because the ambrosids inoculated the trunk where they could reach. Yeah. Lucanus, your hand axe is that's like a tomahawk-sized axe, so it's pretty small.
Hatchet.
So yeah, it's a hatchet. It's not.
It's still like a D6.
Well, yeah, but
I'm just hacking off as many chunks as I can
you'll
with whatever I can use.
Yeah.
And I'm using the rage
I was actually
what?
I was just going to kind of go a little further around the tree so I was out of range of him and use the other hand axe.
Okay.
To basically do the same thing.
Sure, yeah. So you guys take 20 minutes or whatever and you get some chunks of tree inoculated with Gary's food fungus.
Everyone feels satiated.
Yay!
Don't like this at all.
I just had my first meal in a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we didn't. So you guys are just like making little piles of wood chips.
I'm gonna
Well, Gary,
gather
like-
up. I'm gonna gather up the like inoculated pieces that have flown off now that they're done. And then since I have those, I'm gonna release the blue spores and tell you that you all obviously need to rest. And if I have these, we can sort of take a rest and then go on from there. That this is what I came for, and we don't have to hurry back. You all can, take a nap and eat some food, even though you feel satiated. You probably should, because that was me tricking you.
Thank you.
Okay. So are you camping in this? You're camping in this tunnel opening thing. Is that where you're?
I mean,
Yeah,
we've already
mouth of the
cleared it.
tunnel.
Yeah, we've already cleared it. It's easily defensible.
Okay. Yeah. So are you're like taking a like a long rest in here?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you gonna set up watches?
definitely.
Definitely. Who's doing the watches?
Not me.
I'll do the second watch. I mean, right now, Fletcher and I don't really have that much of a difference in hit points.
I mean, I could do it because, like, I'm not dead. I'm like the least dead of everybody.
Gary has to do like a mind meld to unwind, and there's nobody around to do that.
Yeah,
so
you can't do that.
I can definitely take a shift. Also, Gary barely fit in the tunnel, so I'm just gonna post up at the entrance.
Just like a plug.
Thing.
I mean,
You're like a tortoise ant.
Yeah.
exactly, like a tortoise ant.
another
So
thing
I
that
could
lives
take the
in-
first one if you want to have a nap, even though you have full health.
All right, yeah, I'll take a nap.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got Gary for 4 hours, or I guess you could do 8 hours. Well, you'll be exhausted if you do that. Gary can take 4 hours. Kay takes 4 hours, and then we need one more person to take 4 hours. I guess, or you can do like.
I'll take the third
mean,
watch.
Okay,
I can take a watch. I'm just not in great shape.
that sounds like Cedric's got it. Okay, Gary, can you roll me a perception check?
Yes. 15.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if I add anything to that, but that seems pretty good anyway.
Let's see. Yeah, you have a little bit of a perception check. Yeah, you have a +9. Yeah.
Ooh.
So
All right, yeah. That's great.
Yeah, so your watch passes entirely peacefully. Like, I mean, it's obvious, like, you're at the entrance to this tunnel that, looks up into the jungle. So, like, there are obviously lots of sounds and there's rain intermittently and stuff like that. But, like, there's nothing threatening that happens while you take your watch. Kay, you were taking the second?
Yeah, I'll take the second one.
Okay. That metal die.
15. Donk. I have a wooden table too, so just like
Nice.
donk. I got a 15 plus 6. 21.
Wow, okay, yeah, the high roll. Again, you're...
The only high roll I've gotten, but it's fine.
I mean, it's an important one. Yeah, so you watch through the deep dark of the night. Again, the jungle is so loud at night, much louder than Kay would have expected, especially...
It's loud.
Yeah, growing up in the
Yeah.
city. But nothing threatening happens. I mean, nothing... I don't know, maybe Kay would think things were threatening just because
Everything is threatening.
Everything is threatening. But nothing that, like...
She's like, do I wake them up for this thing? Do I wake them up for that thing?
Right. So, like, you hear a bunch of sounds, and a few times you, like, get ready for combat, but, like, nothing actually assails your group. And Cedric.
That's 14.
Again, you take the sort of, like, morning shift. Lots of noises, intermittent rain. Nothing threatening happens.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So we get 1 hit point back per level,
One
right?
hit point back per level. Yep.
Okay.
Was it perchance raining either just before we went to sleep or when we woke up in the morning?
Yeah, it's raining when you wake up in the morning.
Okay, then I'm gonna sit in the rain for
Okay.
a few minutes
Okay, you
and get
do
on
that.
the way back up to full hit points.
Yay, fast healing. Cool.
Gary's gonna join you in the rain.
Just hang out in the rain.
Feels nice.
Yeah, so Fletcher, Cedric, Lucanus, you each get 2 hit points back. I don't know if, Kay, you didn't lose any hit points, right?
I didn't.
Oh, okay then. Kay is going to carry the party from now on.
Yeah.
What would you folks like to do now?
Well, Gary, do you want us to accompany you back to where you need to re-inoculate your farm of this fungus? I feel like sort of it's up to you if you feel safe or not.
We're probably not going anywhere for a few days, man, so...
Blue spores, so that we can have a little chat.
Mm-hmm.
I would like you to return to not only accompany me, but also help me figure out how to prevent this from happening again.
Oh, security work.
So, we should head this way when you all have had your coffee and whatever else humans like.
Yeah. Breakfast rat burrito.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The other members of my circle are probably pretty worried since we've been gone for a while, and I'm typically never leave them, ever.
Cedric, as you cook breakfast over the fire, you hear a pop! And you sort of look and dig in the ashes, and you see what looks like it must have been another clay token of some kind that got overheated and just broke.
I knew it!
Oopsies.
Is the gem still intact?
This one did not, at least as far as you can tell, did not have a gem. It was, like I said, it kind of like shattered when it popped, but it doesn't look like it was the same shape. It wasn't painted white. That's why you guys didn't find it, so.
Seems
Dang.
totally unimportant. I'm not worried.
Yeah.
Probably
Definitely
some
wasn't
junk.
like a cool magical item or something.
No.
Stupid
It
garbage.
was in a trash pile, so obviously it was trash.
Yeah. I mean, you're wearing it, so I guess you're wearing trash now.
A friend gave me this trash, okay? It's important trash.
Are we friends?
It's very important.
We are.
That's
Unlicked
I
trash.
felt a little twinge of bad when you died twice and I shot you in the back.
A little twinge. Wow. Now I know what friendship means to Nancy.
She felt a twinge of pain both times you
It's a
died.
very good item to have, but you have no idea what it does.
I have no idea what it does. It's just a shiny thing.
So I guess we're accompanying Gary back to...
Okay, you do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you hike back across the grasslands to this sort of like cavern thing where Gary showed you their empty, ravaged farm. What would you like to do?
Gary,
You stick a tree piece in the ground.
Gary is going to ceremoniously sort of place the inoculated branches and pieces of wood back into the garden. And go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I was gonna say, yeah, like, as you arrive, your circle members are just rushing around. Like, normally my connets don't move that fast, but, like, they're obviously, like, very excited. Like, they're all their caps are turning green, like you guys have seen Gary's cap do. And they start bringing in new compost and things to help these inocula, yeah.
I'm going to give a bunch of high fives. Well, a bunch of high
High
various
threes
numbers.
and high sevens, yeah.
High primes.
And they can't obviously hear any of this, but I'm going to be conferring with them, just letting them know that we have it, that we're back, and that they're okay fighters, but they managed to get our inoculum back.
We're okay fighters.
Well, all of
That's a fair assessment.
I mean, that's fair.
All of your Qui-Gon Bauer says high primes lol, and it made me think like, wait, we give high primes too, because yeah. So your circle members are all incredibly excited, and like, yeah, they're still sort of viewing these strange creatures that accompanied you on this endeavor, sort of sideways, but they're happy enough to have what they need back. So.
Yeah.
I am going to place my head on the ground and lift it up and reveal sort of a picture of what we had fought and who had stolen it so that they can see. And then I'm going to release blue spores to the adventurers and ask, what can we do to stop this from happening again?
Well, seems like right off the bat, I mean, you now not only have this farm, but there's a tree that also has your fungus now. Seems like maybe it won't live forever, but that's, perhaps that's a tactic you should think about. That don't put all your fungus in one basket. Try to diversify where you are raising this fungus, because now you can see it. It doesn't have to just be down here with compost. You could have some secret backup trees. So if anything ever goes wrong, you have the fungus in other places.
I love that. And when you say that, I turn to one circle leader and he grabs a chunk and runs off. Or one circle.
That's a good idea too, because if you're that way, you don't have to like defend it and possibly get hurt, right? You can just let things come in and take it, and you're like, haha, we have a second one.
Yeah. So also what?
Oh, it also probably wouldn't help to disguise the entrance of your garden.
You mean I should take down the sign that says free fungus here?
No, I mean just, plant some bushes in front of it, or I don't know. I forgot what the entrance. Yeah, because it, sure, you can let people come in and take it, but why let them find it in the first place?
Amazing.
Yeah. Any ideas from Cedric?
Well, I think you should build a palisade around it. Like, go back into the woods, cut down a whole bunch of trees, bring them back over here. You take a knife. Do you guys have steel? Does anybody?
No.
No? All right.
No.
So you get a sharp rock.
Great, thanks. These sound like great solutions to me. Certainly diversifying where we put it sounds nice. So I'm going to pull out from nowhere a
video game pockets.
a stone that is tacky with green residue, and I'm going to hand it to Kay.
Kay, this rock is it fits in your palm. It's fairly, evenly shaped and kind of smooth and round. It is covered in this sticky green or tacky green substance, and it smells disgusting.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
What is it?
I have literally no idea, but it's not something that I want, and I think that you might want it.
That's not what I told you. I gave you the explanation of what it does.
Oh, oops. I didn't write that down in my clip notes. I know exactly what it does.
No, you don't think it's gross, because you made it.
Oh, I made it.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm sorry. I know exactly
Kay's
what
doing
it
her
is
best
because
to attempt to not make a "this smells disgusting" face, and is not sure if it's working.
I think you would think through
telekinesis. Every parent who's listening to this podcast just feels this conversation super hard.
Kay, make a bluff check.
Oh God. Where's that die? Oh, there it is. Up bluff check. Oh boy.
Sorry about that, Sheryl.
No, it's totally fine. That's why I'm here to help.
Okay. So if I don't have any points in it and it's a charisma, do I just add my charisma to it, or do I not add anything to it?
It's just add your charisma bonus.
Ah.
So it isn't a different picture. So hold on a second. I still don't have my character sheet because I normally use it on my phone, and they don't have it.
Okay, so now that I have remembered, what it is.
Wait, let's
Oh,
let her see if she's
I
doing
got a 10.
a 10. Gary doesn't necessarily notice because they're not super practiced at reading your kind of facial expressions, but like everybody else in the group can tell that you're like really like trying to hold back a like gag reflex while holding this thing. All right, Gary, now you can tell her what it does.
So just as I hand it to you, I release red spores,
I guess I
which
accept
may
the
or may
red
not mean
spores.
anything, but I'm just sort of releasing those.
Okay. What
To everyone or just to Kay?
Just out. They're just like are just released.
Right. Okay. Yes. So all of the circle all of the circle members clear the room.
Yeah.
Oh.
So since we can still communicate, I'm going to thank you enthusiastically for helping us and assure you that we all would have died if you hadn't helped, and ask if there's anything else that we could do for you before you leave.
We're good guys.
Yeah. Well, you don't happen to know anything about where the poison that's going into the river is coming from, do you?
I asked him about that before.
Oh, you did. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you? I don't think you tapped into the hyphal.
You asked me, but we never actually answered it,
Yeah.
if I recall.
Oh, yeah, you were like, look, I'm focused on my food thing right now. I can't really deal with your stuff.
Yeah.
I can't deal with your shit.
I
Okay?
was really hangry
Yeah.
then.
Yeah, there was, and like the network wasn't as like around and
If you would like me to check that, I could certainly tap the old network and see what they have to say.
Kay is like looking of like how she can like gently put this thing in a pocket or
Okay, so I will give you a little bit more explanation. So Gary tells you that stone is covered in that substance is basically made of fungal toxins, and when that stone is thrown, it will explode into a cloud of fungal toxin that will damage plants and plant creatures all around it. Presumably, Gary hopes that you would not use it on myconids, because that would be
Fair.
super not chill.
That's what my red spores mean, is
Yeah.
something super not chill is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you want to give them the other item, or did they not please you that much?
Well, so first I'm going to do this
Oh,
check
right.
for him.
Sure.
So let me just see if I can answer that question.
Nature check.
I have an 8, so I don't feel good about that.
An 8 plus 4 is 12.
Plus 4.
Yeah. Okay, so you again do this thing where your arms kind of grow down into the soil, and you're listening and you're listening and you're listening, and basically, like the hyphal network, like, yeah, the message is loud and clear that, like, yes, the river is sick. There's something very wrong with the river. It hurts. The river gets worse. Like, it gets more bad the farther upstream you're sensing from. As far as a source, you don't get something immediate. But basically what your sense is that it... How do I say this?
I'm communicating all of this to you,
Yeah.
by the way.
It is upstream from here. Checking my map. Yeah, it's upstream from here a ways.
A ways.
Yes, but not like it's still
Not 2 ways.
It's
One
close
way.
enough that you can sense that like it is near the periphery of what you're able to sense, right? Because like obviously you can't tap into the hyphal network for all of the continent, but like you can sense that the source or like where this hurt seems to be coming from is not too far away from the edge of what you're able to sense.
It's here, guys.
I love that as a metric of just like, yeah, I can't really describe to you how far it is because it's like one hyphal length. It's like, oh, that's super helpful. Yeah. What is that in meters?
it's
How many
as
days
far as we
walking
can
is that?
sense it.
Yeah. Well, but yeah,
so
that's the important part, I guess, is that Gary can sense it. So, like, or it's just out of their sense range, but it's not so far away that they have no idea. So,
Yeah.
Is the prairie your hyphal range?
So you can sense in the hill country that you're in right now, and then there is grassland without hills to the east beyond that. You can sense mostly the hill country and a little bit into the mountains to the north and a little bit into the rainforest to the southwest and a little bit into the grasslands to the east. So kind of a circle centered on where you're standing.
I'm literally well connected.
And the river would be cutting still up into the grasslands, right? Or would it be going up to the mountains at that point?
What you folks have been able to tell as you've moved upriver is that the river, so from the ocean,
Pulling out the map.
Oh yeah, I can't.
okay, that's not gonna work. I can't keep all the stuff hidden without, okay, so from the ocean, it goes north for a bit, and then I'm gonna try to do this the right way so that you guys can see it, and then it curves and goes northeast. And that's what you've been following right now, is that you've sort of, like, the curve kind of followed the edge of the end of the rainforest, and so now you're at this part that's, like, going northeast-east, or east-northeast. Yeah.
Okay.
Do I know enough to, like, point in a direction and be like, that is the area where I think it is?
I mean, you were able to tell them that, like, it's obviously coming from upriver yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That was
upriver.
super helpful.
Also, you were able to tell them, because you can sense that it's just outside of your sensory zone, it's on this side of the river.
It's on this side of the river.
Oh.
That seems
great.
To me, kind of like useful information to you.
Yeah, swimming across the river seems real not fun.
Yeah.
Based on my limited interaction with the river.
I can't sense over there, so yeah.
Is there a town nearby where we can buy supplies?
I'm not like a cartographer. I just have a network.
I mean,
so between Nautia and Gary, you're aware that, like, in the hill country and in the grasslands and up into there's another bit of forest that's not rainforest, it's temperate forest, kind of directly north of the rainforest, on the western side of the mountains. Like, in all of those places, there are other myconids, there are gnolls, there are goblins, that kind of stuff. Yeah. But there aren't, like a lot of them. I mean, the myconids are fairly settled, but they're not towns. And a lot of the goblins and gnolls are nomadic to greater or lesser degrees. So there's not a whole lot of like brick and mortar settlements that you're aware of.
All right.
Well, hopefully that answers your vague question with a vague answer.
That was very useful. Thank you. Very
Good.
Super
Gary.
helpful.
Mhm.
Yes. Well, it pales in comparison to how you've helped us, so I'm happy to do it. And one more thing, I have for you, Fletcher.
Oh.
This I definitely don't know about. Right?
Kay looks at Duggar like, oh, you were not the chosen one.
A shield of dark wood. I hand it to you.
Right. So what Gary hands you is a shield, but it's made out of wood, but the wood is very, very dark. And it doesn't seem like any wood that you're immediately familiar with. And also, Fletcher, are you taking it?
I extend it toward you.
Yeah, I take it.
Okay, so when you grab it, like, you were expecting it to be really heavy, because it's a fairly large shield made out of wood, and you grab it, and it is probably, like, half or 2/3 as heavy as you thought it would be, so it's, like, it's made out of wood, but it's not as heavy as you would have thought for its size and its its thickness, yeah.
And then
Thank you very much for this gift.
You're welcome. I have no use for it.
Honest to a fault, Gary.
And then I
will see if I have a use for it.
I turn toward Lucanus, and I hand him basket that is woven such that spores could fall between the
Oh yeah.
the weaving of the basket.
Yep.
And it has a nice pattern stained from fungal dye of fungi dancing around the outside of the basket.
Oh,
Aw.
it's adorable.
Will you take it?
Yes, he just sort of like, you know how you can put things on your backpack so that they like hang off the strap?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You've got a bunch of carabiners everywhere.
Right?
Yeah. Anybody who's ever climbed knows.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's a responsible mushroom forager basket because you let the spores fall out so you can grow more mushrooms.
Aw.
Awesome.
Enjoy. Well, I'm all out of stuff in my video game pockets.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you need us, I guess, feel free to contact us through the
Yep.
phone
Feel free to
network
waft
and
one our way.
friends, I guess.
Waft one our way.
Wow. Thank you so much for your help. You're so generous and heroic, and good luck with your mission that I don't know anything about because you didn't tell me about it.
Aw. Well, the river has poisoned water, and we're just
Yeah, I
trying to
think
get
you
it-
know about as much about it as we do, to be
Yeah.
honest. River is safe.
You'll know where you know that our mission was successful if the river goes back to normal.
Well, I'll check
Yeah.
every day.
Plus, we'll totally stop by on our way back.
Yeah, we
love
totally
that.
should stop by on our way back.
Yeah.
We really should.
Yeah, you're
We'll
on our
be
way.
here, probably.
Presuming you come back this way. Presuming you come back.
Yeah, we almost didn't come back from this one. So.
Well, that sounds like a great place to call it for tonight. Thank you so much, Brian. You were a wonderful special guest.
Yes, so
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you, Gary. Yay, Gary. And
I'm
thank
sorry, I messed up Gary's pronouns like 100 bazillion times.
Yeah,
Yeah, same.
Poor Gary.
Pronouns are something we all work on. But yeah, thank you to Brian and to Gary for being wonderful guests and helping the adventurers not die underground.
Yeah, we would have been dead if all those things weren't pacified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super dead.
Yeah. But I thought you folks did an amazing job with the combat and with figuring out the what to do to help the myconids, and we had some really fun science chats this time, which I really enjoyed. Thank you so much to everyone who's been watching, and thank you if you hung out in the chat. Again, the link to our Tiltify campaign is down in the reference section below. It's on our Twitter. It's in the description for the podcast and YouTube videos. So please donate to the Bail Project or any other charities that you're able to support causes that need support, not just when the cause happens to be trending in the news, but they need support all the time. So thanks for that. Does anybody else have any other wrap-up notes?
I want to say happy summer solstice, everyone.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Happy belated Juneteenth.
Mm-hmm.
This is the day after, and it really should be a national holiday.
Yeah. You can catch us tomorrow. We'll be back here an hour later, playing Burn. The Turning of the Ages is happening for the first time tomorrow in Burn, so that'll be exciting. That'll
Nice.
be a Where Are They Now kind of episode, which is very exciting. And then Burn will be back on July 5th. Arda will not be back. This campaign will not be back until Saturday, July 18th. So that's the next time you'll be able to catch us. But in the meantime, Emily Dodd has switched her video game streams to Saturdays. So every other Saturday starting next Saturday, you can catch Emily Dodd here with, I was going to say Stardew Valley, but that's not right. It's Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing, where she's been dutifully filling her museum with all sorts of wonderful artifacts. And last time she was sharing some awesome facts about oarfish. So Emily picks a different species from the Animal Crossing game and researches it and then talks about it during the stream. So you can hang out for lots of fun, mostly fish facts because she's a fish researcher. But yeah, that's us. That's what we do. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, if nobody has anything else, then I guess we'll get out of here.
All right.
All right. Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.